Good. Joe, we good? We're on? Good evening. Good evening. I can't hear it. Is it on? I know. Good evening. I don't think it's working. Hey, Joe, it's not working. Oh, that's better. Can you hear me? Oh, yeah. All right. Welcome. Calling the meeting to order, number 2026-0827R. The energy in here tonight is what I think we wish every commission meeting started off like. Welcome to Coconut Creek Commission meeting. We're happy to have you here. We have lots to celebrate at the beginning of this meeting. Lots of great information. Agenda item number 9. A presentation regarding the Resilient Broward Grant Program has been removed from tonight's agenda and will not be heard. City Clerk, what were we, well, we didn't really hear it because we were all so excited about the meeting. What was the music that was playing in the background?
Mayor, the music selection for tonight was Run for the Podium by Hans Zimmer. And I assure you it was a beautiful song.
And that was your choice?
That was my choice.
What was the meaning behind the song choice tonight?
Well, the title, Run for the Podium, is always do your best and try to achieve your highest aspirations.
Excellent.
Thank you.
That's very nice.
For the City Commission meeting on September 10th, our wonderful city attorney will be making the music selection. As we begin, we kindly ask that all mobile devices be silenced to ensure the best possible sound quality. Please speak clearly and directly into the microphone, and remember to mute your microphone when you're not speaking. Should anyone experience difficulty hearing at any time, please raise your hand and a hearing device will be provided to you. Thank you for your cooperation.
Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Commissioner Rydell.
Here.
Commissioner Welch.
Here.
Commissioner Raley.
Good evening.
Vice Mayor Brody.
Here.
Mayor Wasserman.
Here.
City Manager Rose.
Here.
City Attorney Pyburn.
Here.
All right. So I want to, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. We have our 3 elementary principals here. Come on down, because you're going to lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Surprise! Show us how it's done. I know, right? That's great. Right there is cool. Whatever you want. Yeah. You start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. Thank you. We have lots to celebrate with them tonight, so I figured it was only fitting. City Attorney?
Thank you, Mayor. This meeting is being conducted live with a physical quorum present. The material for today's meeting is available online at coconutcreek.gov. Anyone wishing to appeal any decision will need a record of the proceedings and for such purpose may need to ensure that a verbatim recording of the proceedings is made, including the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based. The archive of this meeting may be requested from the city clerk or may be heard online at coconutcreek.gov. If you haven't already, please silence your mobile devices. If you must take a phone call, please excuse yourself and step outside. Respect and proper decorum will be maintained throughout the meeting. Vocal outbursts, jeering, cheering, or applause can impair the rights of others and derail the decision-making process.
Thank you, City Attorney Pyburn. So we have lots to celebrate at the beginning of our meeting, and we're going to kick it off with some brand new police officers. We're going to swear them in. We're going to have a swearing-in ceremony for new police officers Tynasha Logan, Jerry Moore, and Deshaun Warren, and Chief of Police Fred Hofer. There he is. Good evening. He is going to do the presentation for us.
All right, good evening. So let me start by calling up Officer Logan to the stage. Officer Moore and Officer Warren, come on up so they can stare at you instead of me. All right, let's start with Officer Logan. Officer Tanasha Logan is proud to say she was born and raised in Miami, Florida, in the Liberty City community. Growing up there taught her the values of strength, perseverance, and the importance of community. She earned her bachelor's degree at St. Thomas University, majoring in psychology with a minor in criminal justice. As Tanasha continues this journey, she would like to express her heartfelt gratitude to the City of Coconut Creek for this opportunity. In addition, she would like to thank her family, friends, and mentor for their unwavering support, encouragement, and belief in her. Officer Logan said she would not be where she is today without them, and she is truly grateful to have them by her side as she pursues her dream of serving her community. Officer Logan's goal is to become the best police officer she can be. She believes law enforcement is more than just a job, it's a calling, and she wants to serve as a positive role model, protect her community, and make a meaningful difference in the lives of others. Here to support Officer Logan are her mother and father, her siblings, her mentor, Sergeant Garvey, and many friends. Next is Officer Moore. Officer Jerry Moore grew up in Broward County. He graduated from Deerfield Beach High School with a 3.7 GPA. After graduation, he enlisted in the U.S. Army as an 11 Bravo, which is infantry. Upon graduating from basic training, he was stationed in Fort Hood, Texas, where he was sent to South Korea as a temporary duty station for 9 months. Upon leaving active duty, Officer Moore served another 2 years in the National Guard. Officer Moore then began his law enforcement career as a police officer for the city of Fort Myers, where he served from 2019 to 2025. Upon his return home to Broward County, he worked for the city of Lauderhill for a little over a year before being hired by the city of Coconut Creek and calling it home. Officer Moore looks forward to continuing his law enforcement career with this city and serving his community. Here to support him are his mother and his father. And Officer Warren. Officer Deshaun Warren was born and raised in Boca Raton, Florida. In 2017, he earned his bachelor's degree in business administration with a minor in legal studies from Methodist University. On April 29, 2026, Officer Warren graduated from Miami-Dade College School of Justice. He was selected as the Gideon of his class and received the Athletic Award. Deshaun will always cherish these honors because they represent the leadership, discipline, and commitment he strives to bring into every aspect of his life. Officer Warren said, "It is truly an honor to stand before you today as he begins his career with the City of Coconut Creek Police Department. First and foremost, he thanks God. Without his guidance, strength, and grace, Deshaun said he would not be standing here today." He also wanted to thank his parents, his family, and his friends for believing in him, encouraging him, and reminding him to keep pushing forward. Deshaun advised becoming a police officer was once a dream, but now it has been brought to reality. He looks forward to serving others with integrity, compassion, and humility, and being able to make a positive difference in our community. Here to support Officer Warren are his mother and father. Round of applause for all three of them, please. City Clerk, would you please administer the oath? You could please turn facing. All right. Officer Logan will be pinned by her father. Can he please come up on stage? Officer Moore will be pinned by his mother. And Officer Warren will be pinned by his father. Can you folks please come up? You do have the badges, I hope, right? Okay. You're allowed 2 pokes, minimum. At least 2 pokes. Okay, you can pin your officers. If you could just stay up there, let's get one picture of all you together. Thank you. And could the officers just stay up there for a picture with the commissioners, and everybody else could please come down? Thank you, and welcome to the family. Welcome.
All right. Chief, where you going? Yep. Chief, stand back up. A ceremony recognizing the promotion of Police Sergeant David Tablata to Lieutenant and Police Officer Michael Guattari to Sergeant. Police Chief, take it away.
All right, here I am again. So this time I'd like to welcome Sergeant Guattari to the stage and Lieutenant Tablata up front. You got to get used to saying that. Sergeant Guattari. Oh, boy. All right. Let's start with Sergeant Guattari. After graduating from J.P. Taravella High School in 2007, Sergeant Michael Guattari attended Valencia College in Orlando from 2007 to 2009, where he studied criminal justice. Demonstrating an early commitment to his career in public service, he self-sponsored his way through the Valencia Criminal Justice Institute Police Academy while also maintaining a part-time employment. Sergeant Guattari officially joined the Coconut Creek Police Department in January 2010. Throughout his tenure, Sergeant Guattari served 8 years on patrol, establishing a foundation in community policing and emergency response. In 2012, he earned a position on the SWAT team, where he remains an active member today. Throughout his career on SWAT team, he has held positions as operator, sniper, training coordinator, sniper team leader. He currently serves as one of the agency's 2 entry team leaders. In 2015, Sergeant Guattari became a field training officer, personally mentoring and training more than 20 officers in fundamental patrol tactics and investigative procedures. His commitment to training expanded in 2018 when he was selected as a full-time training officer within the Employee Development Unit. In this capacity, he has become a certified instructor in several critical disciplines, including firearms, taser, defensive tactics, first aid, and emergency vehicle operations. Furthermore, as the agency armorer, he is responsible for the inspection, servicing, and operational readiness of all department-issued weapons and firearms. Sergeant Guattari is also a veteran of the United States Coast Guard Reserve. He enlisted in 2016 and served as a maritime enforcement specialist. Assigned to a port security unit, he specialized in anti-terrorism and force protection for high-value assets. In 2022, he deployed to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba in support of Operation Freedom, Sentinel, and assisted a joint service task force in securing strategic American assets in the region. He served concurrently as a full-time police officer and active reservist until his honorable discharge in 2024. Sergeant Qatari's motto is, "True leadership isn't about weathering the storm, it's about leading others through it." Sergeant Qatari is joined this evening by his mother, his fiancé, and his son. Lieutenant Tablada. Lieutenant David Tablada was born in Managua, Nicaragua, and while very young, his family and he moved to Florida, where he was proudly resided ever since. David graduated from South Miami Senior High School before attending Miami-Dade College, where he earned his associate's degree in computer information systems. He is the proud father of a 21-year-old son and is the proud father of a new baby boy with the love of his life, Amanda. Lieutenant Tablada's professional journey began in the aviation industry as a parts cleaner. Through hard work, determination, and dedication, he advanced within the field and was eventually given the opportunity to become a business owner. Despite David's success in aviation, he always maintained a strong passion for serving and protecting others. In 2012, Lieutenant Tablada attended and graduated from the Miami-Dade Police Academy with the goal of building a career in law enforcement. He began his career in law enforcement in 2013 and has since served in multiple roles, including road patrol officer, field training officer, criminal investigations section detective, and as training officer in the employee development unit. David was later promoted to sergeant, serving as the supervisor of the employee development unit and subsequently as detective sergeant overseeing the special enforcement team. In addition to his supervisory responsibilities, Lieutenant Tablada currently serves as an assistant team leader on our SWAT team and as a SWAT team sniper. Throughout his career, Lieutenant Tablada has remained committed to leadership, training, service, and protecting the community with integrity and professionalism. Here to support Lieutenant Tablada are the love of his life, Amanda, their newborn baby, and family members. So Michael will be pinned, Sergeant Qatari will be pinned by his son, so come on up. And Lieutenant Tablada will be pinned tonight by Amanda. If you can come on up. And pin away whenever you're ready. Couple of pokes. All right. We'll get one picture with family. Hold on. Okay, thank you. Mike and Dave, you stay up there, commissioners. All right. Yvonne, can we just get one more picture? All uniform personnel, can you join our lieutenant and sergeant on stage for a group picture, please?
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
You got it. That was for you. That was for all of you. All right?
Oh, this is terrible. They don't like all the stuff they're hearing this.
That was an impromptu, musical selection. All right. Awesome. Congratulations. We really have the best police force there is. It's just a great, Jackie, Commissioner Raley, I figured you were going to say something. Do you want to? You're more than welcome to. All right. So now we're going to transition, a presentation recognizing 3 wonderful institutions, a part of our community, that had some great gains this year for our students, for our community. Coconut Creek K-8 Academy of Excellence, Tradewinds Elementary, and Winston Park Elementary for achieving an A school grade for the 25-26 school year. And we're going to have Government Affairs Manager Bernadette Hughes to conduct the presentation.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Tonight we have the pleasure of recognizing 3 of our Coconut Creek schools that improved their grades from a B to an A for the 2025-2026 school year. Achieving an A rating is an important accomplishment. It reflects the work happening throughout the entire school, from the leadership of the principal to the dedication of the teachers and the staff, to the hard work of the students and support of their families. This is an incredible achievement, and we're very pleased to recognize our 3 principals and the school teams tonight for their hard work and success. We're also very pleased to have Broward County Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Howard Hepburn and our new North Regional Superintendent Alan Strauss here with us tonight. And I'd like to invite both of them to come forward and join us for a photo as we recognize our 3 schools with a certificate of recognition from the city. If you could join us. Up on the dais, yes. Thank you. Our first school is Coconut Creek K-8 Academy of Excellence, led by Principal Reed. And if you're here with your team, if you could come on up. And Mayor and Commission, if you want, we can take individual pictures for the schools if you want to come up for a photo. Okay, before I lose the mayor and commission, our next school is Tradewinds Elementary School, led by Dr. Ellie. I hope you love this. I'm glad you all came. And our last and final school is Winston Park Elementary, led by Principal O'Neill.
All right. Very cool. Bernadette, thank you so much for leading that. And congratulations again to you guys. It's really awesome. Very cool. All right. Don't leave, though, because your boss is about to present, so don't walk out. All right? So don't leave. Don't worry. Dr. Hepburn, I'll take notes if I see anybody leave. All right? So now we're going to transition into a presentation from Superintendent Dr. Howard Hepburn, Chief of Staff John Sullivan, to provide an update on the Secure the Next Generation referendum renewal. Dr. Hepburn, the floor is yours.
Thank you, and good evening. I see the butterfly capital of the world knows how to have fun. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for having us, and thank you for giving us just a moment to talk about the next generation referendum. As I said earlier, I saw some of the commission earlier, the mayor, and also nice to see you, Vice Mayor, too, and the rest of the commission. Just thank you for your continued partnership, your support of our schools. It's palpable. It's obvious what you guys do for our schools, the recognitions, the continuous support in and out of our schools. So we appreciate all of that, and continued partnership is what it takes to make the magic happen. We'll talk about some of that magic and our accomplishment. I'm here with our Chief of Staff, Mr. John Sullivan. We're going to tag team on the presentation, so I'll do the first half, and he's going to do the second half. Also, to make our lawyers happy, just want to inform everybody that we are here to educate and inform and not to advocate. So to make sure you understand what we're using the dollars for currently, and also what we plan to use the dollars for in the future if the referendum is to so pass. But I definitely want to talk about some of our accomplishments, and we just recognize some wonderful individuals behind me, our educators that make the magic happen in our classroom. We're A-rated back-to-back, the repeat school district. No DNF schools at all in any of our schools. Highest graduation rate in 25 years. Our traditional district-operated high schools, 97.5%. And all the rest of our schools, our alternative schools and also charter schools, equates to a 91.4% graduation rate for our schools. Also, we're number one in Florida for AP, ACE, dual enrollment, and industry certifications. Simply what that means for the public, we really challenge our kids with rigorous coursework, college-level coursework in high school, where kids are earning college credit before they graduate, which equates to a lot of scholarships dollars as well. But in order to be prepared for that rigor, we actually expose our middle school students to a lot of high school-level courses as well. There's one accomplishment that we have for the 25-26 school year, and that's the Cambridge District of the Year for large districts. There's only one large district in the nation that earned that recognition this year, or during the 25-26 year, and that was Broward County Public Schools. We beat out every large school district in the nation. Absolutely. I always want to remind the public of our scale. We're a very large school district, 6th largest school district in the nation, 2nd largest school district in the state. Miami-Dade being the first largest in the state. We have about 236,000 students. About 180 of those students are in our district-operated schools. The others are in our charter schools. We have about 325 schools, and we have about 86 charter schools. So 325 total schools, 86 charter schools, and the rest are district-operated schools. 27,000 employees, and the class of 2026 earned $617 million worth of scholarships. That's the result of challenging our students in high school and exposing them to rigorous coursework and college-level coursework in our schools, and it equates to a lot of scholarship dollars. That is actually $200 million higher than the class of 2025. Looking forward to see what class of 2027 does and beat out the class of 2026. No pressure, class of 2027. Triple A rating for the past 3 years. If you look at the bottom row, about 4 years ago, we had our share of DNF schools and C schools, and comparable when it came to A and B schools. We have since abolished all of our DNF schools. We have reduced those by 100% about 3 years ago. We have increased our A schools by over 130%, and we have decreased our C schools by over 70%. So that happens because of these guys back here, our principals, our assistant principals, our teachers, the folks that are not in the room, our custodians, our bus drivers, the people in our admin buildings, in our cubicles, the hundreds of thousands of volunteers across Broward County, and partnerships with cities such as the city of Coconut Creek and all of our other partners across the county. It takes truly a village to have these accomplishments. And these are some of the grades for your local schools here in the city of Coconut Creek. Just recognize your A-rated elementary schools and your K through 8 academy. And with that, y'all got me excited because y'all know how to have fun. Now I got to transfer it over to Mr. Sullivan, who's going to talk more about the referendum, ballot dates, ballot language, and all the things that we do with the dollars that we receive locally here in Broward County.
He gets to talk about the accomplishments, and I get to talk about taxes. Fun. Good evening, John Sullivan, Chief of Staff. Thank you so much for the opportunity not only to brief the commission, but your residents as well. So the residents are used to seeing this on the primary ballot since 2018. We go out every 4 years, but statute changed, so now it's in the November ballot. So that's why they didn't see it this primary. So they'll see it in the November 3rd ballot when they're deciding whether or not to support this. So again, this is a renewal of our existing referendum. It is not a new tax. It's a tax that exists today. So I'm sure everyone here in the audience, commission, myself included, got our trim notices. So this is already on it. They'll continue to see it if it were successful. This is for 4 years, and it would be impacting the 27 and 28 school year. The referendum, the new one, would generate about $358 million across all of Broward schools, and that includes our charter schools. And it really funds 3 buckets within the referendum, which is our teacher and staff compensation supplements. And that's our frontline workers, so not only our teachers, but our bus drivers, our custodial workers, our cafeteria workers, everyone who has an impact on our students, including our site leaders as well. The second bucket, also crucial for us, is our school safety personnel. We know that cities, including your city, partner with us with our SROs, and it is a financial burden to the city, so we do appreciate that partnership. On the onset of the original referendum back in 2018, that contribution rate was about $55,000. With the continuation of the referendums, we were able to increase it to a current $119,000, and we hope to continue having those conversations how to continue to increase it because we know it's a burden to the cities. But we do appreciate the partnership in keeping all our schools safe. And then the third and final bucket is our mental health personnel, and I'll go a little bit more into that in a couple slides. So again, not a new tax existing, it's a renewal. So just wanted to point that out again. And these are some of the items that it funds. So currently the referendum funds about $173 million in our compensation supplements for our teachers and eligible staff, and funds over 393 school safety personnel, and also about $1.7 million in software, including our panic buttons. All our staff members have a panic button on them now. It's critical, it saves seconds, and connects to law enforcement if they press it a certain number of times. So we're able to fund security measures such as that through the current referendum. And then we fund about 224 mental health personnel. So I won't go too much into what a bond and referendum. I did just want to spell out that the bond is for our facilities. Obviously, I don't have to tell anyone in the room. There's been some negative press in that bond, but the superintendent has done a good job of closing out that programs, but there were delays. But this is separate and apart. The referendum does not fund our facilities program. That is the bond. The referendum has been audited since the original back in 2018, and it's been found to be spent appropriately according to the ballot language. I won't read the ballot language entirely, just wanted to point out that this is the ballot language that the voters will see when they decide whether or not to support it on that November 3rd ballot. The board has taken a vote officially to allocate if the referendum was successful. Again, 90% would go towards our compensation and 10% for safety and mental health. The referendum is really the only mechanism that the board has to generate additional funds outside of our state allocation. We know that's not enough. We're not unique. Almost half the districts in the state of Florida have referendums, so they're experiencing the same shortfalls as we have. But the board and the superintendent have taken action on our general funds because we know we have to react to the reality of our decline in enrollment. So with that said, the board reduced 1,000 positions from district level, so we were intentionally not to impact our schools. That generates about $54 million in annual savings. We also restructured our health care to our employees, saving another $46 million and closing 7 schools. That has generated about $100 million in savings this year and annually, but that really is just to deal with the shortfall of the decline in enrollment that we continue to experience. We lost about another 11,000 this school year alone. That, again, is not unique to Broward schools. Our neighbors to our north and south also are experiencing decline in enrollment in large numbers and really across the country as it relates to large urban school districts. So what does this mean for the average homeowner in terms of what they are assessed? These are averages. So again, if your house is worth more or less, it will be a little different. But the average is about $418 annually, or about $35 a month. For condominium owners, it's about $230 a year, or $19 a month. And that generates $358 million annually through the course of the 4-year referendum every year. So what happens if the referendum doesn't pass? So we would not be able to go through our general funds to fund these items. We're very close to our 3% requirement from the state. If we go below that, there is state intervention. So our level of services as it relates to compensation, supplements, safety and security, and mental health will be impacted. Of course, we'll continue to keep our schools safe, but there will be difficult decisions that the board will have to make. So I know that was a lot of information. There's a QR code if your residents want to learn more information, and there's a website with more information, and we'll take some questions. Don't ask too hard questions because my boss is right behind me.
Is there anybody on the dais that had a question for the team or a comment? Commissioner Raley?
Good evening. Thanks for being here. This is so important, and these are such difficult times. I think it's important that we actually educate our residents on what happens if this doesn't pass. All this is fine and well to tell them what will happen, what could happen, but I think they need specific details. I think that's what actual examples of what would happen in the classroom, what would happen to the teachers, what would happen to the students. I think because it's so important to keep these funds for our teachers. Right now, our daughter's a special ed teacher in New York, has been for 23 years. She can't come here because of the wages. They make 3-4 times as much in New York. And to keep our quality teachers, I think we need to keep up with the times. Cost of living is through the roof. We need our teachers to keep up with that. They're the most important people in our children's lives, in our future, and it's so important. So I think we really, thank you. You are. God bless you. I sat in the classroom with her for 5 minutes, and I said, see you, honey. Thank you. Wonderful. But it's very important, I think, that they actually know what would happen if this doesn't pass.
So
thank you. And thank you for what you do.
Of course. As it relates to the supplements currently, on average, our teachers receive about $10,000 supplement annually. We know we can never pay them enough, but that does make a huge difference. Our neighbors to the south and north of us have referendums with similar funding items. So if they were able to provide that supplement, we're not, we would be at disadvantage, and it would impact our ability to really retain and recruit because our employees have options to work in the Tri-County area.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Rydell.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a lot of ladies here in blue that I think this entire day supports, and I think are selfless in what they do every day in the classroom. I guess the question I have is a little more unique. This is obviously something I support, but I guess the question is you're going into and I'm asking like a strategic question because just cards on the table, right? You're putting a ballot referendum on where we have a property tax reform item on where there's going to be a general climate of saying no to this, saying no to, well, I guess saying yes to property tax reform. And the media, right, that you guys have engaged in isn't good, right? You're making cuts. Just a list came out, the past week that 3-4 Coconut Creek schools are borderline in terms of their enrollment, right? So I guess the question I have as to educate, right, because this is something I obviously support. I support our teachers. They clearly don't get enough money, and I think teachers to the north and south make more than the average teacher in our county. I don't agree with that, but I don't know if that's true or not. I say it. So I guess the question I have for you, not trying to be difficult, is what do you want us to say with that narrative, right? And I say it in a public forum, not trying to put either of you on the spot, because I'll make my position very clear. I support this. I support this unequivocally in terms of supporting our teachers. But we are in a climate that doesn't support it. The headlines coming out of the school board are school closings. You're already cutting mental health professionals. There's already a debate with SROs in the cities and this big back and forth match with all of it. So agree with what we're trying to do. So I'm asking for you to educate me on that. How do I and how do we, as elected officials and the people in this room, educate our neighbors when we're seeing a very contrary narrative publicly to why we need to support that? Now, I agree with your PowerPoint, but I'm asking just a very candid question with a lot of active people in this room of saying, we need this, educate me better because the public narrative doesn't support this. So change my mind, even though I'm with you, but I'm just saying, I think, and Dr. Hepburn, I have a tremendous amount of respect for you. We know each other. I say it because much like our dais is struggling with Amendment 3 and what to do with it to educate, not advocate, totally with you on that, I'm saying right now there's narratives coming out of downtown, of the Casey Wright building. How do we combat that, and how do we better educate our constituency? So that's my terribly difficult question. I'm just asking for you to answer.
It's a good question, though, and it is a lot of narratives out there that very difficult to control in the age of this type of media today. But I will simply state that in order for us to continue to provide the high-quality instruction that our teachers provide day in and day out, in order for cities to celebrate changes in their communities through their schools, it is important to invest in the education of the students that are riding the bicycles through your neighborhoods, that are riding the scooters through your neighborhoods, that are in your parks, that are going through our K through 12 system, having excellent outcomes, creating outcomes that are pulling in money for themselves for scholarships to live out their post-secondary dreams, to go to college, to go to tech schools, to go to four-year universities, wherever it may be, to come back and pay it forward to the community that they grew up in, to the communities that they attended schools in. And the only ability for us to do that is to support additional opportunities to bring in revenue through local efforts so we can continue to recruit and retain high-quality education, such as the ones you see in the room, and continue to celebrate that year after year. Without it, that quality diminishes. Our ability to retain and recruit teachers like the ones who made the magic happen in these schools today diminishes. And it will impact households, and it will impact communities.
So I think something extraordinarily important is, listen, we have some crown jewels of Broward County on Coconut Creek Parkway in terms of some of our vocational schools as well as some of our other schools. And I think our city and this commission has invested in our schools more so than other cities have in terms of things that we invest in, partnerships that we have under more current administrations than it has in the past. And I think that's something this commission, I speak for myself, will always continue to do. But I say it from a point of advice. Mm-hmm. You need to figure out a really creative way to go against the grain on some of this, the salmon swimming against the grain a little bit, because there's a bad narrative. In social media, you're right, you subtly said it, and we deal with the same thing. So listen, I support any efforts. I will educate in any of your efforts, but I think, and just as just a moment of clarity in a room full of people, that's the hardest thing to come forward on some of these narratives that you're going to have people on a ballot box making the wrong decision for our communities. So listen, I'm happy to always be a partner with you. I'm always happy to be a partner and advocate for our teachers, but I think it starts, and I love that we have like 15 teachers here. It starts with them too, right? Absolutely. They need to educate and advocate. Educate the lawyers, right? We got our city attorney here. And I say it, and I commend you for the effort of going to all these cities and engaging, because I'm not going to be a commissioner that's going to yell at you about SRO costs and this, because it's wrong. Because we have to invest in our future. So I thank you for being here. I thank you for your presentation, and at least for me, and I don't want to speak for my whole commission. This is real and this is significant, and I support your efforts.
Yep, thank you.
Commissioner Brody, Vice Mayor.
All right, so there's a lot of things that people don't know. My mom was actually a teacher back in San Diego, and which sounds great unless you happen to be her son in her class. The 1 year I didn't get away with anything. So it's always a soft spot when we start talking about teachers, and I'm going to tell you, for me, the education system, the number one thing we should be talking about besides the kids is what are we paying the teachers. So I don't care, we could talk about all this great stuff, but unless there's a real raise in the lap of these teachers to make sure that we're continuing to get these A's and to continuing the top-notch schools that we keep bragging about, it's going to start with pay, and it's going to end with pay. And we've got to make sure that that's what we're advocating for. All of us should be advocating. Every parent, every teacher, every principal, everybody on this desk, everybody should be saying, we need to make sure that they're getting paid to be A's because they're turning out A situations. And so we could talk about all this great presentation, and I appreciate it. In fact, I asked for a copy of it because I was kind of impressed by the numbers. But the reality is, let's make sure we pay our teachers. That should be our number one thing, and that's all I got.
Yep.
Commissioner Welch.
I don't want to repeat what's already been said, but I do think the devil is in the details. And just like how we are tasked with educating on Amendment 3, I think the examples, because you and I talked at lunch over an example on Amendment 3 of what would clearly make it impressive to people if they call 911 and has been a reduction in our fire rescue that is going to delay time, or the dispatchers delay time in the responders getting there, is an example of what could happen if we pass Amendment 3. And I think that was a light bulb to me, and I'm hoping that it resurrects some examples, like Commissioner Raley said, that will make people snap and think twice about voting this referendum down. That's all I'm saying, because you came up with a great example for me. I wish I could have come up with a great example for you. But we love our teachers, we love our schools, and we're very proud of what they've done here. So, but thank you. Thank you for delivering the tough message.
Yep, absolutely.
And no, I think, what everybody says up here is so true. Broward Schools is the largest employer in the county?
I think so.
Okay. There's a lot more people than just teachers. Mm-hmm. There's clerical, there's cafeteria workers, there's bus drivers, there's custodians. Those people are getting a piece of this. Am I correct?
Correct.
That, I think, also, assistant principals as well.
Correct.
That's something that I think needs to be conveyed as well. Teachers are obviously spend the most time with our students, but there are such supporting characters around them that make that building tick. And I it always says teachers and certain staff or some staff. I think people need to understand what that staff is. It's everyone. It's everybody that makes that school go round. So you got my full support. I'll do what I can always to help you guys out. I used to work for you, so I'm all in. So I appreciate you guys coming here and taking the time. Seems like I spent all day with you now.
I know, all day.
We had lunch together. It was a great time. But no, thanks for being here. And what I would like is, if possible, maybe come back in the second semester and give us an update. And I think it's so important to have connection with you guys. And just we'd love to have you come back again, and maybe a second semester roundup would be fun if you guys are into it.
No, absolutely.
Commissioner Rydell?
Just Dr. Hepburn, I would just ask, and Mr. Sullivan, whatever educational materials you intend to push out, I'd ask you to share with our PIO. So we have the ability, and I think that's an important aspect. I sit on some countywide boards as well. Whatever materials you're doing, that's something educationally that we have the ability of pushing out as well to help educate. So I would ask you, Mr. Sullivan, you're kind of like the guy behind the guy. So share with us and Ms. Lopez, who's here, she's right there, just any of that educational information. I just ask Mayor that they share with us and we engage in an educational campaign with our partners. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, gentlemen. We really appreciate your time tonight.
Appreciate the time as well. Thank you.
And Bernadette, we can look for something for the second semester. You'll reach out to them. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. All right. Let's keep it moving. We got some more celebrating. We have a presentation recognizing the 2026 Coconut Creek Little League 12U All-Star Team for outstanding achievement and stellar representation of the Coconut Creek community. You guys have been patient. You've been patient, and now the time is yours. So we have Enrique Castro, Parks and Rec Superintendent, and Andrew St. Remy, Parks and Rec Supervisor, who will conduct this presentation for us. Congratulations, gentlemen. Oh, you guys are, it's all about you now. Congratulations, all right? Let's see what they got for you.
All right, good evening, Mayor Wasserman, Vice Mayor Brody, Commissioners Welsh, Rydell, and Raley. My name is Andrew St. Remy. I'm the park supervisor here at the City of Coconut Creek. And tonight, not only do we want to recognize the 12U Little League All-Star team, but congratulate them on their tremendous accomplishment. The City of Coconut Creek proudly recognizes the 2026 Coconut Creek Little League 12U All-Star team for its outstanding achievement and exceptional representation of our community. The team has made history by advancing farther in tournament play than any Coconut Creek Little League team since 2018, demonstrating dedication, teamwork, perseverance, and sportsmanship. Led by manager Rick Pumariga and coaches Daniel Hera, Roberto Acosta, the team's success reflects years of hard work, player development, and the unwavering support of families, volunteers, and the Coconut Creek community. The City of Coconut Creek congratulates this year's 12U All-Star team on its historic tournament run and wishes the players, coaches, and families continued success as they proudly represent our community. Great job, guys. So if we ask if you guys could come on down to be recognized.
All right. More celebrating. But the crowd is getting smaller. You know? All right. But just because the crowd is getting smaller doesn't mean the excitement is not going to still be here. When we celebrate our third quarter employee milestone anniversaries for the fiscal year of 2026, I'm going to introduce our HR Director, Pam Kershaw, who will conduct our presentation. What's up, Pam?
Hi. Good evening.
All right. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. This is exciting. I'm very honored to recognize a group of employees who have celebrated milestone years of service during the past quarter. Several of them are here tonight. So if you're here, when I say your name, if you'd please hold up your sign, stand up, wave so we can recognize you. That would be awesome. Our first group of employees has celebrated 5 years of service. 2 of them are here, very near and dear to my heart, from the Human Resource and Risk Management Department. Our Benefits Program Manager, Leticia Lawyer. And HR Business Partner, Frank Zuniga. The next few couldn't make it, but from Resilient Design and Development, Tamara Joseph. From Finance, Eric Ema. From Police Department, Tara Arena, and from Utilities and Engineering, Ernest Edmond. Those are our 5-year employees. We have one employee celebrating 10 years of service, and he is here tonight. Our special events planner, Leo Molero. We have 2 employees who celebrated 15 years of service. One of them is here tonight. We have our Public Works Superintendent, John Teddereth. And he could not be here tonight, but Police Sergeant Roger Hall. We have 2 employees who celebrated 20 years of service. From the Parks and Recreation Department, she could not be here, Esther Edouard. And we have Police Officer Josh Bailey. And lastly, we had 3 employees celebrate 25 years of service. One is actually a recent retiree, but she did celebrate her 25 years, and we will be celebrating her next month, I understand, here. And that was Police Lieutenant Brandy Del Vecchio. And we have our Deputy City Manager, Scott Staudenmeyer. And our Facilities Maintenance Supervisor, John Yancey. John is here with his beautiful wife and kids. Look at what beautiful family they are right there. So if you guys could all come up with your years of service sign, we'd love to take a picture, please. This is quite a night, huh? From 5 years up to 25 years. It's a good-looking group. Thank you all for your years of service.
Super fun. Super fun. All right. We're now going to transition to a proclamation recognizing September 2026 as Hunger Action Month. And reading this tonight is our very own Commissioner Welch. She'll read it into the record and she'll present it to Davika Ramkasoon from Feeding South Florida. Please tell me I said that right. Yes. Oh, yeah. All right, Commissioner, it's all you.
Thank you, and thank you for being here. Whereas hunger affects nearly 1 million people in South Florida, and whereas ensuring that food is accessible should not be an impossible challenge for our community, and whereas a lack of access to enough nutritious food can have serious consequences on community health and well-being, and whereas since 1981, Feeding South Florida has worked to end hunger in Coconut Creek by providing our community in need with immediate access to nutritious food, and whereas Feeding South Florida leads hunger and poverty advocacy efforts in our community while improving lives through programming and education that provides economic growth and overall well-being. And whereas the City of Coconut Creek supports the efforts of Feeding South Florida so that together we can achieve a hunger-free South Florida where those in need transition from dependency to self-sufficiency. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek hereby claims September 2026 as Hunger Action Month in the City of Coconut Creek to raise awareness of hunger in South Florida and encourage the community to take action to end hunger in our community. It's signed by the Mayor and the Commission and attested by our City Clerk. Thank you very much.
Davika, you're more than welcome to, if you wanted to say something. If not, you're good? All right. Okay. So we're going to move on to our next proclamation. Proclamation recognizing September 14th through the 20th, 2026 as National Diaper Need Awareness Week. And chosen to read this proclamation tonight was Commissioner Rydell. He'll read it into the record and present it to Angie Andrews from the Greater Fort Lauderdale Diaper Bank. Where are you? There you are. Hey.
Angie.
All right, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor. And I remember last year at City Hall where I came in. I'm surprised you're not reading the proclamation. I remember last year where you had that car full of diapers and you were driving down to the Fort Lauderdale Diaper Bank. So I want to commend you for that personal donation. And if you want, I'll let you read it. But I remember I was surprised because the amount, I know you have a young kid, a lot of diapers. So I commend you for your diaper donation. Whereas diaper need, the condition of not being able to afford a sufficient supply of clean diapers to keep babies and toddlers clean, dry, and healthy, can adversely affect the health and well-being of children and their families. And whereas national surveys and research studies report that nearly 1 in 2 families struggle with diaper need, and 48% of families delay changing a diaper to extend the available supply. And whereas access to adequate daily or weekly supply of diapers is often required for babies and toddlers to attend childcare programs and quality early education programs and enable children to thrive and parents to work, whereas families coping with diaper need report missing an average of 5 days of work a month due to lack of diapers, impeding their ability to maintain steady employment and economic stability. And whereas diaper banks serve as a vital resource for improving infant health and well-being, strengthening family, economic security, and contributing to the well-being and productivity of our community. And whereas last year, the Fort Lauderdale Diaper Bank served 52 Coconut Creek residents through case management delivery services and provided diapers to approximately 43 residents monthly in its distribution pantries and collaborated with community partners, including Food for the Poor, contributing 200,000 diapers to our community alone. Whereas the people of Coconut Creek recognize that diaper need is a public health issue, and addressing diaper need can lead to an economic opportunity for families, communities, and improved health for children, thus ensuring all children and families have access to the basic necessities required to thrive and reach their full potential. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek proclaims the week of September 14th to 20th, 2026 as National Diaper Need Awareness in the City of Coconut Creek in gratitude to our area diaper banks and their community partners in their steadfast commitment to supporting children and families in our community. It's signed by the mayor, the vice mayor, the commission, and attested to by the city clerk. And I look forward to Angie coming up so I can present it. And I asked the mayor, whose donation was significant last year, to come and present it as well.
On behalf of the Greater Fort Lauderdale Diaper Bank, I'm thrilled to accept this proclamation as we mark our 10th year of serving our community. The Greater Fort Lauderdale Diaper Bank holds monthly distributions for both infants and adults on the first Thursday of each month. We partner with various social service organizations across different cities and communities to help bridge the diaper gap. I'm pleased to announce that this year we are excited to host our second gala to celebrate and dedicate the 10th year of service. If anyone is interested in contributing, donating, attending, participating, volunteering, or learning more about these opportunities, please check our website at www.ftldiaperbank.org. On behalf of the Greater Fort Lauderdale Diaper Bank, thank you so much for the proclamation.
Commissioner, anything else left to say? All right, no problem. As noted at the beginning of the meeting, item number 9 regarding the Resilient Broward Grant Program has been removed from tonight's agenda and will not be heard. We are now going to transition to a presentation by Red Speed Florida LLC Vice President Greg Parks and Community Relations Vice President Kevin Millen regarding updates on the school zone safety enforcement program. Red Speed Vice President Greg Parks and Community Relations Vice President Kevin Millen will make the presentation. Good evening, gentlemen. Microphone. There you go. All yours.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, Manager, and our great police partners that are here. Always enjoy coming here. I do this around the country, and you guys definitely have the most fun of anybody we work with, so I appreciate that. It is a great pleasure to be here. We've worked on this for a number of months now, and we are pleased to say you already are achieving the results we've seen around the country and in other communities in South Florida. We did a 60-day warning period, which is double the standard, so I congratulate you on that too. You did a very thorough public awareness campaign, PSAs, flyers for the kids. The word is out. You guys have done a great job in that. And since the warning period, we've been operational about a month with citations, and already in that short period, violations are down 98% from the test study that we did for your ordinance to establish the heightened safety risk. 68% of the violators are non-residents of Coconut Creek. So they're people that are using your resources, endangering your kids, and their fine is actually going back in. $12 of it helps schools, interestingly enough, as a segue of that. So the program is working. 5 of the school zones are completed. The remaining 10 are at Broward County for permitting. Broward County is a little more methodical in permitting than the city staff. But while in town, I'm actually going to go over there tomorrow. We've had plans in. They've been going back and forth for comments, and we're optimistic it'll be resolved shortly. Our team is working hard on it. And once that's done, probably another 4 to 6 weeks, receiving the permits, because they're solar, which we're very proud of as well, the installation can be expedited. So it's been a while. It's been a process, but we're pleased with the results. We're very pleased with our partnership. You're very easy to work with, and we appreciate you all. And I'm Greg Parks, Senior Vice President of Red Speed, to start that. And Kevin Millen is actually your person on the ground here, working most closely with your police department. So if you have any questions, we'd obviously be pleased to answer those.
We'll work our way down.
Greg, thank you for coming. Just a kind of a criticism. I don't like getting something on the dais that I haven't had before. So like not so cool, candidly, but you know.
No, I would acknowledge that.
I'd like whoever wants to address it. I want you to address the subsections and the categories on page 3 and 4 in terms of your headers. So what you've just handed me, I just want you to address how you're subcategorizing out your top bar. I would have had this information before, but again, you kind of just gave it to me. So I'm going to ask you to just work through your categories. I'm seeing like an NOV category. I'm seeing a UTC category. I could assume that just because what I do for a living, but I'd like you to work me through your numbers for the public, please. Whoever's going to do it.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
You got a good jacket, so I'll give you. You get a compliment. So
working violations. You see the amount of violations that have imported into the system.
I got it.
The police review queue, which are the violations that are going to go to the police department to be reviewed. Then you have dismissals. So if there's something wrong with that violation, it'll be dismissed through that review process. And then you have your actual notice of violation. So those are actual good violations or enforcement actions that are sent out, approved by the police department, and mailed out to the violators. Okay? And then you have the paid violations, UTC eligible, meaning they have not taken any action, so they come back into the queue and they are eligible to be issued a uniform traffic citation. Okay, and then you have your UTCs, which is your uniform traffic citations. Those are citations that were issued from the police department for people that took no action.
All right, so I'm just going to take your numbers because I'm not a math guy. I'm a lawyer. But you got 436 working violations. Police queued 16. You dismissed 16. You issued 404. You had 153 paid. I'm doing ballpark math that you have about over 200 outstanding, and then you UTC 86. So mathematically speaking, I need to understand it. And again, I didn't have a lot of questions until you handed me this. You got 200 like missing. So explain that to me.
So this is always, unfortunately, the ball's always moving. We have a lot of violations that are out there that people have not paid. They have not come back to, let's say, be UTC eligible. But they may have requested a hearing, because that's not reflected here also, because they have the opportunity to have a hearing.
That to me is a little troubling, and I'll tell you why. Because if we're looking and doing our due diligence as a municipality, I want numbers that add up, right? Like we just got out of budget. If the budget doesn't balance, we're not doing our jobs on a city commission. So your numbers don't add up here. That's a red flag to me in general. And now you just said, well, we don't show that. So, and again, I'm looking at this. So I mean, I'd love for you to come back for a presentation, Greg. I appreciate what you've done, in the city, and I appreciate the concept of it. I know our police department supports it, but I'm looking at data right now that doesn't correlate. And logically, to me, that's an issue, because there's like 50% is out there. And how I understood this when we approved your contract, pretty simple. You give a working violation. Clearly, our police department has dismissed 16 for one reason or another. All good with that. But you have 404 outstanding. Now, if you have 153 paid, your notice of violation dictates that you're shifting it to a UTC or a traffic violation that'll go into the system. But there's nothing there. So are we missing it in terms of the time frame that because your notice of violation has a time frame on it?
Correct.
Agreed. So if you don't pay the $100 or whatever it is,
it's 100.
It's 100. I thought it was within a delineated time frame. We go to traffic vialation.
Yep. That's
right?
a good question. Could I address that, or do you have others?
Yeah, I mean, I just help me here. Help me.
Now, some of these could be as recently as yesterday. The alleged violator has 30 days plus a grace period to pay. So you've only been live for 20 days. So actually,
I'm with you.
None of these are due even yet. So
okay,
it actually shows
but
good
if that's
behavior.
the answer, then I'm okay with that, because I'm good with that. But I just the lack of information is just something.
Well, I do like coming here. And we welcome, after a larger sample size, 90 days, 120 days.
So are you? I mean, me. Obviously, I'll defer to all my colleagues. Are you good coming back at November?
You direct us to be here, we'll be here.
Yeah, that's what I'm good with. Listen, I think your preliminary data, what you're showing is great, because it's about school safety. Although everyone on social media thinks it's like a lot more than that, but I don't want to address social media, or else.
Well, the safety results are incontrovertible.
No, listen, it's all good. I have thick skin. But I just, complete data sets, and in the next presentation we get understanding that it's due, I'd like to see complete number data in terms of accounting for everything. So and I'm taking one school section, right? So if we're talking 436, give me the full working numbers of the 436 to see where they're at. That's all I'm asking for. Yeah, understanding that we're so quick, and we delayed this, and we did it right. I mean, you guys were good partners in terms of having a large warning period and letting people know in the city what's coming. Our police department, in conjunction with you, did a great rollout. Our chief spearheaded that. I mean, we had a painstaking rollout of this. So I just want complete data. I'd love to see you back in November. That's all I have.
Thank you. No, I totally agree. I asked the city manager in my agenda review that this must be presented to us before the meeting. And I meant like a day or so before. And the headings, I totally agree. We're not police talk. We're not red speed violation talk. So they definitely need to be spelled out as to what they are. NOV, notice of violation, it makes sense, but it needs to be where anyone that's reading it could understand what the numbers are below that. And I still need to understand, you said that there were 10 permits still with the county.
Correct.
But we've heard that for a while now. Where are those locations that the permits are missing?
It's in their handout, which you just received, but it's the 10 that are on county roads.
What school locations?
Can you read those to her, Kevin, please?
Yeah, sure.
So it's Monarch and Lions Creek?
I think it's Tradewinds Elementary, Lions Creek Middle. It's Monarch High School, Winston Park Elementary, Coconut Creek High School, and Dave Thomas Educational Center, Atlantic Technical College.
So which ones are active?
You have active at Tradewinds Elementary School on Johnson Road. You have Winston Park Elementary School on Northwest 39th Avenue.
Right.
And you have Coconut Creek High School on Northwest 15th Street, which are all city roads.
And the rest are not live.
Correct, because they're on the county right-of-way, and they haven't approved the permits as of yet.
But if that's an ongoing issue, is there a way to escalate that? I mean, are we able to help escalate that permitting process?
I know that our engineer had last contact with the county on August 13th, and we are due to have some answer from the county by September 1st.
Because we thought the warning periods were going to be over before the end of last school year, and then all live beginning this school year.
To directly answer your
That's what the communication has been.
To directly answer your question, we appreciate it. Certainly, if you are willing to call your colleague at the county, or obviously we're doing all we can. Our interests are 100% aligned. We're always spending it.
Greg, we have somebody. We have a colleague from the county here. It's 2 rows behind you. He's hiding. But
I don't think there's any need to hide. They're good partners.
No, but I mean, Commissioner.
Well, let's get back to let's get back to what you presented here tonight. You heard loud and clear. We wanted to see the data. We've been waiting for the data, and but we would like to get it in enough time to where we're not just reviewing it.
We absolutely understand that and apologize.
Before us. So I heard Commissioner Rydell suggest November. I would hope that by then we have permits in place and better identified data, and look forward to that. I mean, I like that at least some of the measures have slowed some people down significantly, even if they aren't live. They think they're live. So, that's a good thing if it helps one person stay safe. But we really want to see all of them live and the correct data to identify the missing gaps in the numbers.
Yeah, the data is correct, but maybe we need a label better and present it in
we just don't know where those numbers that are missing are right now.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Good evening. Thanks for being here. I just have a quick question about the dates. So May 22nd, and at the end of the school year, the cameras went dark, right? They weren't operating.
Right. They only enforce on days that instructional classes is in place.
Oh, okay. So they were operating when there were only special classes. Is that what you're saying?
Not in summer school by statute, but it's normal year instructional classes during the school day.
Yes, okay. So they were dark this summer.
That's correct. Yes,
okay. So we're saying that since school started, we've issued 436?
Yes, I think it's about 10 a day.
Wow.
Per camera.
Per camera. I got you. Okay. When you look at it that way, it doesn't seem so significant, but it is 436 violations.
It's 98% reduction
in a very
from
short
the original
time.
study.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is all at no taxpayer expense and actually helping fund the schools, which you've talked about.
Yeah, I know, but we don't want the violations. We want them slowing down. So, all right, but thank you, yeah. All right, look forward to the next report.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, so I'm going to harp on a little bit of what Commissioner Welsh said, just so I'm not going to be as polite. What are the issues that we're talking about at the county level? Because we get permits from the county all the time, and it doesn't. I mean, we passed this almost 2 years ago now, and for 2 years to get permits for something so simple, I'm at a loss of what was going on, and for us not to get for you not to get those permits, and why haven't you reached out to us for help if you thought it was a county issue within the last 12 months? So I'm kind of at a loss. What is the gap there of a communication of not contacting us to step in after almost 2 years of being approved?
Well, I appreciate the question. The county, I said they're good to work with. We're never going to blame anything on the county. It's our responsibility to do it. But the rules have changed a number of times. They have what is called a revocable license agreement, which is brought in midstream. There's been design change requirements, so many feet inside. There's been a number of changes that the county has made that we've had to start over and doing the permits. And that's certainly their prerogative. We're not complaining. We're not blaming anybody, but those are the facts of why. And can we do better? Of course.
Well, let me ask you something. How many cities are you in?
In Florida?
In Broward County.
Broward County, 5 or 6.
Okay, and in those 5 or 6, you having the same problems? Or is it just Coconut Creek's having this problem?
No, the county is the county. And
that's why I'm asking directly that question. Are we having this problem, or in general, you're having that problem?
The process is not isolated to Coconut Creek. No, it's a complex.
That's what I'm asking. In Deerfield, I know they're running them. Are they having the same problem getting them installed as we're having here in Coconut Creek? That's the question directly.
For county roads, that is the process.
Okay, so you're saying, yeah, I'm just getting circles here.
Well, that's not my intention. I'll try and clarify.
Yeah. So listen, 12 months to get a simple camera on a pole seems a little bit long in the tooth for me to sit here and go, well, understanding I built in this county, I built in all the counties in Florida, and a year to get something so simple to be installed, I'm just at a loss for it. And to be honest with you, I was hoping that we'd be full-fledged by the time we started this school year, since we missed last year's. And then at the end of the year, thinking we had 4 or 5 cameras rolling, that we'd be in a better spot at the beginning of this year when the chaos happens. So yeah, I like the idea that we got 400 and some odd tickets, but you're sitting there saying it's dropped 90% by the survey, blah, blah. How is that possible when 10 of the cameras aren't even working? So your status saying the traffic has dropped 90% doesn't make sense because not all the cameras are up. So how do you know that is a true statement?
We're using basic statistics, apples to apples. The cameras that are active, where they were to where they are now.
So you're basing that 90% drop in tickets based on 4 cameras?
5, yeah.
5 cameras. So technically, that's not technically true. You're probably at 30% down because the other 10 cameras aren't up.
Well, at the operational cameras.
Okay, so that was probably something you probably need to put a better footnote in, saying that of the 5 cameras operational, in that 5 areas, it's dropped 90%. Is that what you're trying to say?
That is what I'm saying, and we thought that was an inference.
So it's a little misleading when you said that before, because overall...
I would disagree with that, but I appreciate
you can disagree all you want. I'm the one sitting up here asking you the question.
I understand, and I respect that. And what I was going to offer up is, for the next time in the interim, we could document the county process and what has changed and what we've done to try and address it. I think you'd appreciate that, and hopefully it would help.
Right. I thought when you came here tonight, you were going to have the details of what happened to make this delayed, but I guess we'll wait till November to get those details.
Well, we could certainly provide that well in advance of November.
I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
We loved it when this happened. We were very excited about it. Residents trust us. The residents trust us to make the right decision, and when things aren't going as is advertised, they don't go to you. They don't go there. They come to us, and we have to answer, and we have to say, we promised you this 2 years ago, 1 year ago. We said in August we were going to be fully functional, and now, honestly, when these other cameras come up and running, I feel like we need to do like another educational campaign.
Well,
because there's such a lapse and a gap between when we have them operate, when they start operating, or whatever. Because it's very yeah. What were you going to say?
No, I think I was actually going to volunteer that. You beat me to that. It's a great idea, and we're more than willing to do that. And we think that's an excellent idea, and we're directed. We'll enthusiastically do that.
Cool. I think once everything is up and running, right, it's like hopefully we're to the races. But there have been lots of hurdles and obstacles in order to get there. And I don't know if it's, I think the vice mayor was saying, is it the county? Is it us? Is it you? It's like...
It's not you all.
Okay. Well, we appreciate that. I didn't think it was, because we have like the best staff in the world. I mean, that's a fact. But I'm just trying to understand when we'll be fully functional. So are we going to say, hey, we're going to be fully functional in second semester January, or are we going to be fully functional in August 27? What is your forecast?
well in advance of the beginning of the second semester. Well in advance of that.
So we're thinking you're thinking before Christmas and Hanukkah.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I hope that is. I hope that that's accurate, and I hope as we're getting ready to roll out, we communicate with these schools that it's going to impact and those parents and everybody participating, because we love this. We were very supportive of this idea. We built a partnership, and we want to make sure that our residents aren't going to be blindsided when they just you know what I'm saying. Commissioner Rydell?
Yeah, just briefly, Greg. This is just, kind of, with all due respect, I hate saying that because it kind of is like it starts as an insult, and I'm not saying it like that. He's not here in this role. We have Senator Geller here. He's a Broward County Commissioner. Our Broward County Commissioner, and Mark Bogan, who's the current mayor, has been an advocate. I know we have, a land use lawyer here, Mr. Backman, who's worked on a Main Street project that we've moved mountains in a relationship with the county to get a traffic light pushed forward. I would hope you engage us, because we have relationships, not only as a city, our police department, if there's an issue, and I know you're working with our chief and Lieutenant Dingus, who's here, and Fred Shelton. Use us, because we have very strong relationships with Broward County, that if there's an issue, or hopefully it's an issue and not on your end, but we have the ability as a commission to advocate. And, I'm not putting Steve on the spot, who's behind you. He's not here in that role, but Mayor Bogan will help us move mountains on anything, whether it's a traffic light, whether it's an engineering issue. So please use us in that respect.
No, we hear you loud and clear. We will.
Okay. Anything else from the days? All right. So when are they coming back? When did you say, November? Let's do the Halloween meeting. Let's do the Halloween meeting, because we're all going to be dressed up, right?
Let's not do that. I would suggest we ask Mr. Parks to do a presentation, our time certain meeting on the second Thursday of November. That would be my
So it'll be our only November meeting. Right. But that's not that one. It's the first meeting in November.
I'm asking for the second Thursday, the second Thursday of November.
Right, our first meeting of the month.
We're saying the same thing, just differently. So.
Correct. All right. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
All right. So, we will now have input from the public on non-agenda or consent agenda items. I remind everyone wishing to speak that all comments must pertain to city business. Respect and proper decorum will be maintained. Behavior that disrupts the orderly conduct of this meeting, such as clapping, shouting, booing, and cheering, is not permitted. Any person who violates the decorum rules will be subject to removal from the commission chambers. And as a reminder, all comments must pertain to city business. When you come forward to speak, please unmute the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. And mute the microphone when you're done speaking. City Clerk Kavanaugh, who we got tonight?
No one has signed in to speak on our public input this evening, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. All right. Is there anyone who would like to provide input on non-agenda or consent agenda items? Oh, hello, sir. Come on down. Come on down, and please state your name, your address.
Joe Chianci, 2401 Antigua Circle, Winmore. I wasn't planning on coming up here. It was my first time really sitting in, and really a lot of wonderful ideas, and I like the way you guys work. Thank you all, and neighbors. But I wear hearing aids, so maybe I missed something, but you were talking about education. And the problem, my wife happens to be a retired teacher, and I know the pay was an issue. And maybe you guys are already doing this, but I grew up in Philly, and we had a work program. So in high school, if you were majoring in auto mechanics or accounting or whatever it was, you could take half the day, a certain amount of time, 3 days a week, get a job, not get paid, but get a credit. So just an idea. It's not why I came here, but listening to everything, I thought it might be appropriate.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I wish you would have been here when the superintendent said that to the superintendent. He was here.
Well, yeah, it wasn't good in welfare at that point. Yeah.
No
Or
problem.
Public, yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right. Come on down.
I thought I would respond just briefly on the school stuff. I was actually...
Name and address, please, for the record.
I'm sorry, I'm Broward County Commissioner Steve Geller. I am speaking to Senator Steve, sorry. I'm Senator Steve Geller, currently Broward County Commissioner, and I'm speaking now only in response to the issue that you raised, so I'm wearing my county commissioner hat now, which is why I'm speaking now instead of later on this. I was the sponsor at Broward County of the ordinance that created the school cameras, because I agree with y'all, and they had indicated to us that also that we were supposed to have everything up and running by the time school started. So I had heard no complaints. I know I drive either Sheridan Street or Nob Hill every day on my way to work, and they're up there. So I will check. Nobody has contacted me. I will check and report back, I guess, to you, Mr. Mayor, or okay, or to through your city manager. I'll check tomorrow. But I will tell you, wearing my other hat as a zoning and land use lawyer, I'm frequently frustrated by how long it takes to get permits through cities and counties. I've instructed the county before, because one of the biggest complaints that I get as an elected official since the 1980s has always been, takes too long to get anything through government. I know you have heard the same thing. I've heard the same thing. I've instructed our county staff to try and expedite them. I guarantee you that you've done the same thing here in the city, and it still frustrates people how long it takes to get permits. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If not, you'll see me again in 15 minutes wearing a different hat. Anything?
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you. If 15 minutes is ambitious.
I know.
But we'll see. We'll see. All right. Is there anybody else who'd like to provide input on non-agenda or consent items? Thank you. Consent agenda, items 11 through 14. A motion to cancel the November 26, 2026 and the December 24th, 2026 regular city commission meetings. Number 12, Resolution 2026-122, a resolution accepting the Florida Department of Transportation FDOT fiscal year 26-27 pedestrian and bicycle safety high visibility education and enforcement campaign subgrant in the amount of $5,000 and authorizing the city manager or designee to execute the subgrant agreement with the Institute of Police Technology and Management for Pedestrian and Bicycle Safety Education and Enforcement. Resolution 2026-123, a resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to execute amendment number 1 to the agreement with FloridaTours.com LLC for the charter bus transportation services to approve a fuel charge adjustment to the contracted hourly rates pursuant to IFB number 11-09-22-12. A resolution 2026-132, a resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to approve a change order in the amount of $22,083.76 to Kilowatt Electric Company for additional electrical work for the City Hall lighting improvement project. Are there any items the commission wishes to pull?
Pull 11.
Pull 14.
Okay, we are pulling 11.
And move consent without those items.
Okay.
Second.
So we're pulling 11 and 14, and we are having a motion and a second by Commissioner Rydell and Commissioner Welch to approve the remaining consent items 12 and 13. Clerk, please call the roll for 12 and 13.
Commissioner Rydell?
Yes.
Commissioner Welch?
Yes.
Commissioner Raley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody?
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman?
Yes. Okay, we are now going to hear from Commissioner Rydell on pulling number 11.
Yeah, obviously I have no problem canceling the meetings, but this is one of those, based on how our charter reads, meetings traditionally always fall Thanksgiving week and Christmas week. I would just direct our city manager that if there's any outstanding items or there's issues that need to be addressed before the end of the year, for example, I know in previous years we had a Main Street item that we had to have a special meeting for. that obviously I know we all support it, but I'll say it, if there needs to be a special meeting either in the first week of December or the third week of November in regarding outstanding fiscal year items, I'm available for any of that based on those two cancellations. That's the only thing I wanted to say. Thank you, Mayor.
Super. I think the whole commission is on board with that. Whenever you need to meet with us, we'll be there. Number 14 to Commissioner Welch. Okay, motion is second for number 11. Who motioned? Oh, it was Welch, Commissioner Welch, and then Commissioner Rydell. And now number 14. No, we're going to call a roll? Call the roll for 11, thank you.
Commissioner Rydell.
Yes.
Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
Commissioner Raley.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody.
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman.
Yes. All right, Commissioner Welch, what you got?
No, it's me.
Oh, you pulled it. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Apologies.
No worries. Okay.
Commissioner Raley.
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry. City Manager, would you please explain why there is a work change order? When we're talking about adjusting the lights that are too bright, I was under the impression that when I read the original contract that they would be here to, I'm sorry, hi Harry, that it was in their hands. They're the professionals. They know exactly what we needed, what the lighting situation is. It seems that this work change order is because the lights are too bright and we need dimmers now.
Right. Well,
so
we did not do an initial photometric study to determine the exact wattage of the bulbs, what we were going to do. That's a very expensive option. We did a direct replacement is what we did. And as fluorescent fixtures degrade, they also lose a little bit of their brightness and the number of lumens. So when we installed the new LED fixtures, and there are also some other they're bright, they're a little brighter. There's some settings on them, some can be adjusted. Also in some parts of the open office area, some people actually kept their lights off. So we did an in-house study with Kilowatt. We did not hire a engineering firm to do this because it was a lot cheaper. We were able to survey the existing lights, and along the windows, because of the daylight coming in, the average lighting was a little too bright for what's recommended for those tasks. So those are the areas we're installing the dimmers. There was also a request from the staff because we replaced lights in their current location. There's one office space or storage space where the files are Lectreavers, and they requested some more lighting because the Lectreavers, depending on their position, block the lights because they're very tall. So that we didn't know about ahead of time, so that's one of the changes. And there's another dimmer issue and compatibility with over the greeting area, the main entrance where you go in. So we're having to change out and put a dimmer there.
So the original price reflected that?
Yeah, the original price was just based on a direct replacement.
Okay.
We actually budgeted a lot more for this job. I think we budgeted $110,000.
Okay.
So we weren't, so going in a step fashion, if we need to make changes, we still come out ahead. We still come in under budget.
All right, thank you. That answers my questions.
Ready to move this? Who would like to?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Welch, seconded by Commissioner Rydell. Please call the roll for 14.
Commissioner Rydell.
Yes.
Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
Commissioner Raley.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody.
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman.
Yes. Okay, to our regular agenda. Resolution 2026-138, a resolution authorizing the mayor or designee to execute the First Amendment to the July 14th, 2022 commercial lease agreement with 4701 Johnson Road, LLC for real property located at 4701 Johnson Road, Suite 8, Coconut Creek, Florida, 33073 within the Lions Tech V Building 1. Is there a motion and a second?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Rydell, seconded by Vice Mayor Brody. Finance Department.
All right. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, everyone, good evening. So this item is the First Amendment to the city's lease for the Fire Rescue Administration offices located at 4701 Johnson Road. So as you may recall, the city has occupied this space since 2022 as a temporary office space for the Fire Rescue Administration while we move forward with building the new Fire Station 113. The current lease expires September 30th of 2027, and it does include an option for an additional 5-year term. And as part of our negotiations with the landlord, we were able to extend the term from 60 months to 64 months, with the first 4 months of the extension provided at no base rent. The extension would therefore run from October 1st of 2027 through January of 2033. While we anticipate fire administration moving into the new fire facility before the end of the term, the additional time provides flexibility for the city as we move forward with the police department improvements. During those planned improvements, we anticipate using this space temporarily for the police department and for any staffing accommodations. Maintaining this space provides an important part of that transition, and it helps us minimize disruption while the renovations for both projects are underway. Frank Buffalino, the commercial real estate broker with CBRE, who assisted with this lease, had hoped to attend tonight, but unfortunately he wasn't able to do so, so he does send his regards. We also looked at the comparable office leases within the area and found that the proposed lease rate that we have is consistent with the market. So staff does recommend approving this first amendment, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you.
Doesn't look like we have any questions. So, City Clerk, is there any members of the public who've signed up to speak?
Not at this time, Mayor.
Is there anyone else who is present who would like to speak? Okay. If there are no further questions or comments, please call the roll for item 15. No, we didn't do it.
Move it.
Second.
We already did the motion in the second. It was moved by Commissioner Rydell and seconded by Vice Mayor Brody.
Commissioner Rydell.
Yes.
Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
Commissioner Raley.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody.
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman.
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 2026-133, a resolution approving the Martinique 2-C Condominium Association application for matching grant funds from the Neighborhood Enhancement Grant Program for security enhancement. Is there a motion and a second?
Second.
You heard that, City Manager? It was
Mr.
moved
Mayor.
by Commissioner Rydell and seconded by Commissioner Welch. And yes, Commissioner Raley, you have something?
Yes, because of my relationship with the Winmore Community Council, I would like to recuse myself from the next 3 items, actually.
Okay, super. We have Dan.
You won't forget me outside, right?
No, we will not. You could just all right.
Good evening. Dan Nelson, Grants Administrator, City of Coconut Creek. This resolution is associated with the Martinique 2C Neighborhood Enhancement Grant application. The association is requesting $5,025.19 for a security enhancement project. Total project cost $10,050.38. The applicant has committed to maintain the security system. This program satisfies the program guidelines. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Nothing? Okay. Any people from the public who'd like to speak on this item?
Not at this time, Mayor.
All right, please call the roll.
Commissioner Rydell.
Yes.
Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody.
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman.
Yes. Resolution 2026. Congratulations. You're here. Oh, you're here. There we are. Usually, the Commissioner Rydell likes, he always says, "Hey, who's here from this?" But you didn't do it today. Interesting. Resolution 2026-134.
I'm looking at efficiency of meetings.
A resolution
We're
approving
a little behind the clock this evening.
the Antigua 2 Condominium Association application for matching grant funds from the Neighborhood Enhancement Grant Program for security enhancement. And they're here? All right. Is there a motion and second to approve? Commissioner Welch, and seconded by Vice Mayor Brody. Dan?
Antigua 2 is requesting $10,000 for a security enhancement project. Total cost of that project is $20,096.95. And Joe, the building director, is here. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
We don't have any questions, but he wants to say something. Just tap the button.
Did it?
There you go.
Okay. I'd just like to say thank you all. Yeah, I'm not. I don't have the proper etiquette to do this public speaking, but I just like to say thank you because we'd like to improve and keep our community safe, and you guys make it happen, and by approving it, and we're chipping in, painting, we're doing all kinds of work over there. So we'd like to see the values go up and pay some taxes, because I really think that the city of Coconut Creek is on the upward trend. I lived in Boca before I retired, and I've worked my whole life to come to Coconut Creek. So I really enjoy living here. I enjoy Winmore, and I've been in South Florida for 30 years. So this is where I worked my whole life to be. So thank you. Thank you for making it nice.
You got it. Jackie, did you hear that? He said Winmore is great.
I hope she heard that. she knows it.
All right. Let's call the roll, please.
Commissioner Rydell.
Yes.
Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody.
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman.
Yes. Resolution 2026-135, a resolution approving. Congratulations. Congratulations. You got it. Resolution approving the Martinique 2E Condominium Association application for matching grant funds from the Neighborhood Enhancement Grant Program for security enhancement. Is there a motion and a second?
Move it.
Ooh. Moved by Commissioner Welch, seconded by Vice Mayor Brody. Are you here today? Oh, there you go. I didn't know. I didn't know who it was. All right, cool. Dan?
Yes, thank you. Martinique 2E, the association is requesting $8,978 for a security enhancement project. This project is eligible and satisfies all the requirements established in the program guidelines. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Commissioner Rydell.
Yeah, just briefly, Dan, at the end of the three items, could you just tell us, after assuming this item passes, could you give us the remaining balance in the Community Enhancement Grant Fund, please?
Sure, absolutely. So if this passes, there will be about $51,000 remaining, and there are two applications on my desk that will be presented on the September 10th City Commission meeting. One is for Tall Trees, and the other one is for Cayman. Cayman is a lighting enhancement project, energy efficiency, and Tall Trees is a landscaping enhancement, which will improve the landscape buffer along Lyons Road.
So hypothetically, assuming those items pass, what are I'm just wondering what our FY budget is going to end with that, because I think this is the first year we've actually kind of got there, which is exciting. So I just want to put that on for me, please.
If the next two neighborhood enhancement grants are approved, there will be about $40,000 remaining in the budget. So we will have spent about $155,000 this year on neighborhood enhancement.
Smaller requests, though, the final two. Okay. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. And I think it's, we talk about this in budget. I think it's an important part that we continue to keep up with. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there anybody from the public who would like to speak on this item? All right, please call the roll.
Commissioner Rydell.
Yes.
Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody.
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman.
Yes. Congratulations. You're very welcome. We need to retrieve Commissioner Raley. All right, here we go. We are now going, agenda items 19 through 21. We are now going to consider several quasi-judicial items. Will the city attorney please explain the city's quasi-judicial procedures?
First, I want to remind everyone to please silence your mobile devices. Florida courts have determined that there are certain types of matters, including agenda items 19, 20, and 21 on tonight's agenda, that are to be treated differently than other items considered by the Commission. In these quasi-judicial applications, the Commission is applying existing rules and policies to a factual situation and is therefore acting like a judge and jury do in a trial held in the courtroom. In such cases, the courts have decided that due process and fundamental fairness require that more formal procedures be followed. The City Commission's decision must be based on the evidence and information that is presented at the public hearing, including the agenda materials, Planning and Zoning Board recommendation, testimony presented at the public hearing, and the deliberations of the City Commission. The quasi-judicial procedures require that the Commission consider the evidence presented to it and base their decision on the applicable law and primarily on credible evidence presented, whether by staff, the applicant, or members of the public. In a quasi-judicial proceeding, the City Commission is not allowed to take into consideration public sentiment or the popularity of a particular development proposal or application. The City Commission may only consider competent substantial evidence. This means testimony or other evidence that a reasonable mind would accept as credible and adequate to support a conclusion. Florida courts have made it clear that mere generalized statements of opposition are to be disregarded, but fact-based testimony may be considered competent and substantial evidence. This can include eyewitness observation, testimony about relevant facts, and documentary evidence, including photographs, aerials, and maps. People who want to participate in a quasi-judicial hearing can testify as to the factual matters in any element of the case that would not require specialized training or specific academic degrees. Their testimony will be provided. Their testimony will be given. Their testimony will be considered, provided their testimony is backed up by established facts, studies, or evidence that is not conjecture or just based on a feeling. The quasi-judicial hearing process is not a popularity contest. The strict rules of evidence do not apply during the public hearing, but any comments must be relevant to the agenda item. Proper decorum is required and will be maintained at all times. Please refrain from vocal outbursts, cheering, or applause. Everyone who seeks to speak on an item will be given an opportunity to speak. If you intend to provide testimony as to any of the applications to be considered tonight, you will be sworn in before your testimony is taken. Please know if you speak, you may be subject to cross-examination. The City Commission may comment or ask questions of persons addressing the Commission at any time. If you refuse to either be cross-examined or to be sworn, your testimony will be considered in that context and given its due weight. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but may request that the Commission direct questions on their behalf to the applicant or staff. Will the clerk please confirm compliance with the notice requirements?
The city has satisfied the legally required public notice for the public hearings for agenda items 19, 20, and 21.
And will you please swear in the witnesses?
Will anyone wishing to speak on any of the quasi-judicial items please stand and raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? When you come forward to speak, please state your name and address clearly for the record. State whether or not you've been sworn in and whether or not you understand the rules of the proceedings. Thank you.
Okay. So we will now hear agenda number 19, and after I read the resolution title, I'll ask for a motion and a second to move the item, Resolution 2026-116, a resolution approving the special land use application requested by Juan Basto of Doctors Health Group of South Florida, Inc. to establish a pharmacy within an existing medical office located at 3850 Coconut Creek Parkway, as legally described in Exhibit A attached hereto and made a part hereof. Is there a motion and a second?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Welch, seconded by Commissioner Raley. City Attorney?
Thank you, Mayor. Are there any disclosures such as outside communications or site visits on behalf of the Commission for item number 19?
Yes. I did visit the location this week. Tuesday, I believe.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I also went to the site, but I think in some maybe passing way, I talked to Senator Geller. I don't think we got into substance. I think he just advised me he was retained on the matter, but that would be the only disclosure.
Thank you.
I went to the site. I did not go in, and I did have a conversation with Senator Geller. Monday.
All right. So, we're back. All right. City staff will now make a presentation on item number 19.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'll do a brief update on where we stand on this, and then I believe the applicant's going to be providing a similar update on their clarifications. As you recall, at the August 13th, 2026 meeting, the City Commission voted to table consideration of this special land use application and the public hearing to this meeting. Since then, city staff has met with the applicant to further discuss the pharmacy's proposed security measures, the medication delivery service, the signage, and the hours of operation. We also discussed this application and some of the issues that were brought up at the last meeting with the Coconut Creek Police Department and our Chief of Police and staff on the DRC. Based on the applicant's representations and the additional information, it is important to point out that the police department has advised staff that it has no objection to the proposed security measures. However, they do have one request, which will be a part of the conditions of approval, that the applicant maintain current contact information for the pharmacy owner and or the designated responsible representative so that law enforcement can verify a delivery driver's affiliation with the pharmacy if it's ever needed. I'll just go to summarize some of the issues that were discussed. So we discussed medication delivery. There were a number of questions at the last meeting about medication delivery. Just some points to point out and for clarification, since we're here again, the pharmacy anticipates utilizing approximately 2 delivery drivers per day. They will be operating in unmarked vehicles to deliver medications to customers. The applicant also pointed out there are about 10 pharmacies in the city of Coconut Creek. These are the corporate pharmacies such as Walgreens, CVS, Publix, Walmart. And the applicant stated that they have delivery service. I also personally looked on those websites as well. They all have on their websites and identify medication delivery as a service they offer. Another point that the applicant and staff discussed was the degree of the pharmacy versus the main in-person pharmacy that they have, and versus the medication delivery service. It is important to point out that the medication delivery service is considered ancillary to their principal business as a pharmacy, and it is not intended to function as a pharmaceutical delivery service only. So it is the principal use of this location is a pharmacy and not solely just a medication distribution business. That was a discussion we had. And finally, on medication delivery, as we were discussing this application with the Chief of Police, he did point out that there are code of federal regulations that regulate delivery of controlled substances, and if it ever comes to that, there are regulations relating to selection, markings, tracking, and signature requirements. Based on the federal oversight already in place and the fact that other pharmacies currently offer their service in the city without any adverse site or public safety impacts, staff, including the police department, at this time do not recommend any additional conditions relating to delivery of medications. So for the pharmacy sign, there were some questions related to the sign and where it would be placed and the size of the sign. There are regulations by the Florida Department of Health on some minimum sizes for a pharmacy sign. Minimum size of letters must be 1 inch, and it must be visibly located at the pharmacy itself. The applicant provided a graphic in the backup materials of the west facade of the pharmacy, which is the front door, which faces the interior of the lot and the parking lot. And they propose to place the sign in the area which is marked as red, in a red box. And in that location, this sign, if posted on the windows or the doors, would essentially be similar to a window sign or a door sign, and that would state the name of the pharmacy, most likely, hours of operation, and things like that. We also looked at the hours of operation. There were questions relating to what are the hours of operation. The medical clinic that currently exists on the site operates from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and it is closed on Saturday and Sunday. The pharmacy has agreed that they will operate during those same hours. And staff recommends a condition memorializing that those hours of operation, and those are in the back of materials. And just to summarize, there's some additional conditions of approval. They relate to hours of operation. The second one relates to maximum pharmacy area. As stated in the application, the maximum size of the pharmacy is approximately 510 square feet, and they've provided a floor plan, and the condition requires that it substantially be depicted as it is on the floor plan in the application. Third condition, exterior signage. Exterior signage for the pharmacy shall be limited to the west facade of the building, as I said, facing the parking lot, and substantially in the location as it is graphically described in the backup materials. And of course, it would need to comply with any signage regulations that we have. And the last one, this relates to the police department's request for the pharmacy to keep them updated on contact information about the current pharmacy owner and any designated responsible representative who can verify the affiliation of any of the delivery drivers. And that concludes staff's recommendation and our presentation. Our recommendation is for approval with these additional conditions of approval.
Thank you. The applicant will now make its presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, members of the commission, and I'm going to have a little bit of a problem here just because I don't know how to work your computer, because I'm old. We're the first one up. Yeah. Okay, and now to advance it. Gotcha. Thank you. First, I would like to ask a question of staff. Your attorney will tell you that your staff recommendation is competent, substantial evidence. So I just want to verify that your recommendation was for approval.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and additionally, you had requested a list of recommendations for conditions. Did my client agree to each and every one of your recommendations?
Yes, they have.
Thank you. That concludes my questions of staff. I could make this a much longer presentation. I'm sure that at this hour of the night, you'd really appreciate that. But I'm only, if I can figure out how to do this, going, help. I'm pressing which button? Okay, I was pressing the wrong button. I'm only going to address the differences or the questions that were raised. If you want additional questions that we went over last time, I'm happy to address them, but in the interest of speed, I won't. There are questions about hours. Again, pharmacy is only open while the clinic is open. It will never be open outside of operating hours. We have agreed that there will not be any expansion. I want to remind you, as you heard at the last meeting, this building was built to house that pharmacy. That's on the original building plans. They just never did it, but we are moving in to the existing space. We've agreed it's not ever going to be expanded. I will show you the signage in a moment, but when I show you the signage, you'll laugh and say, we made a big deal over this. And then in terms of delivery safety, I do want to remind you as well, let me go back, about all of the other pharmacies. Every other pharmacy in Coconut Creek is currently doing deliveries, but we're going to go above and beyond what they're doing, as I will explain when I reach that slide. See that little red circle there? That's where we're going to put the sign. And the sign, and I have, if you wish, I have 10 copies, is going to say substantially this, and it's just going to say Direct Meds of Florida Pharmacy, and it's going to have their hours. And that's it. If you'd like copies, you don't really need them, but that's all that the sign is going to say. The sign is going to be approximately, as I had later, 30, I'm sorry, Okay, I'm sorry, it was 20 by 24 inches. And you have to, 1-inch letters, you have to be standing directly at the door to read the sign, which is only going to say, yes, we're open from 8:30 to 5 p.m. and at Pharmacy Direct. That's all the sign's going to say. And so it's not exactly going to be something that people are going to say, oh my God, look, they're selling controlled substances there, let's break in. It's almost silly on that. So that just inside that red box, and by the way, it's not going to take up all of that space inside the red box. It'll just take up a portion of that space. We primarily are serving the clinic's own patients, although, just as an example, if you have somebody that is that goes there and that's their pharmacy and they go to a dentist and they're going to say, all right, well, I'm going to have dental surgery, so we'll prescribe an anti-anxiety medicine before you do that. Even though that's not, as long as it's a prescription, they'll service it there because it is a full-service pharmacy. Although, as we told you last time, you're not going to be able to wander through aisles. You go up, hand in your prescription, and they'll fill it or they will deliver it. In terms of the delivery, I think that's later here. As I said, every pharmacy in Coconut Creek delivers, but not every pharmacy in Coconut Creek is going to be using their own people. So, for example, right now you have Instacart, you've got Uber. As far as I know, and I'm not an expert, they don't require the Instacart drivers to pass drug and background checks. This pharmacy has already said that they're going to require their drivers to pass drug and background checks. Background checks unmarked. And there's a lot more in security that we've agreed we're not discussing because state and federal law on security. But, there will be no Schedule II deliveries. There's, if it's an anti-anxiety medication or if it's a, prescription dental medication, they'll be delivering those. There will not be any Schedule II deliveries. There will be no narcotic deliveries, no painkiller deliveries. It's going to be, normal health care. And again, we've agreed as one of the conditions for that the police will have at all times people to contact to verify that with the driver. There was a question the last time about trips. This actually will be taking trips off the road. It is a negligible amount of deliveries. We're expecting 20 per day. And that's a negligible amount. But every delivery that they're making is taking cars off the road. So that's not an issue. There was a lot of question about pharmacies that this could be a new model. It's not. In fact, throughout Broward County, and I had checked specifically, for example, I know, and it may be relatively new here in Coconut Creek, but just as one example, I looked up Chen Medical Centers, which has offices similar to this. It's a clinic which has its own pharmacy inside in Plantation, Tamarack, Oakland Park, Margate, Lauderhill, and Deerfield. Parkland has at Palm Medical Centers. Margate has more than one. Again, this is a very, very common model. And, these are examples, pharmacies inside clinics or inside hospitals right here. We were requested for conditions of approval to limit it to the hours that the clinic is open, which we'd planned on doing anyhow, but we've agreed to put that as a condition, to limit the exterior signage, as we've shown, to have the maximum pharmacy area of the already as-built, 510 square feet. We were already planning on doing that, but happy to do that. And the police contact for deliveries. Everything that the city asked, we agreed to do, as you've heard testimony. I could go on, and I typically do, but I won't tonight. I'll be happy to answer any questions, but we think we've answered all of your questions. I'm done.
Commissioner
Happy to
Rydell.
answer any questions.
Hold on. Does the city staff have any questions of the applicant this time?
No.
All right. I'll now open the public hearing. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak on agenda item number 19? Once called upon, please come forward to the lectern, unmute the microphone, identify yourself, state whether or not you've been sworn in and whether or not you understand the rules of the proceedings. When you are done speaking, please mute the microphone.
Stampede.
Public hearing closed. Does the applicant or staff wish to cross-examine any of the witnesses?
No.
The public hearing is now closed. We will now hear closing remarks. Do either of you have closing remarks?
No, sir. Thank you.
Good project. We recommend approval.
You got it. Commissioner Rydell?
I'll be brief. I told Mr. Bastos this. I'm very supportive of his project. I'm very supportive of the service he's providing. I'm very supportive of the pharmacy. My issues were kind of in the development and DRC, how we got here in terms of things that I don't think were addressed. So I'm going to ask this Senator, with all due respect, I'm going to ask my police chief to come up, and I just want to ask him some questions, and then I'm going to turn to my staff and ask them some questions. So, Chief, before I get to you, I want to turn to Justin and Liz. Obviously, we can all agree that there was things addressed in our public hearing last time that may not have came up in DRC and in staff. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. In regarding that, do you guys feel that the applicant has met all those requirements?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Because I know there wasn't a lot addressed in terms of delivery services. There wasn't a lot addressed with some of these things that were kind of unknowns to us that wasn't necessarily addressed in the backup, nor candidly addressed to P&Z. So then I'm going to turn to my chief now, and I'm going to say, Chief, I understand you had obviously people that were sitting on DRC and obviously on committee on this. Do you feel, 3 easy questions, do you feel you re-engaged in terms of from 2 weeks ago to today and regarding the prospective project?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Originally, Sergeant Hendricks was the representative for the police department on the DRC, but as a result of the meeting last time, I personally looked over the applicant's responses, and in working with Mr. Profit, we fully support the project for approval.
Okay, so you have zero concerns from what you do and regarding some of the discussions from 2 weeks ago to today. You have zero concerns on this project?
That is correct.
Okay, that's. I just want to put that on record because I think it's important.
Yep.
That's all I have from you, Chief. Thank you for addressing it, and I don't want to get into like specific, because our city attorney she's already making eyes at me. I'm not asking anything specific in regarding DEA requirements or anything with pharmacies. So thank you, Chief. I turned to our city attorney and I asked these questions. Justin, you listed 4 conditions of approval. Senator Geller has acquiesced or offered or agreed to the 4 conditions. Senator, you there? I can't see you. It's just humor me. Stand up. I never get to say that. I'm always in front of you at the county. Those 4 conditions of approval you agree with. So then I turn to my city attorney and I say,
to everything they asked for.
Are these conditions of approval that we need to make a motion to amend on the application? Wow, that's like a really long pause.
Yes, you need to make a motion to amend to add them as a condition of approval. It's not part of the recommendations by staff. So the answer is yes.
So then the answer is this, and I will say this, Senator Geller, I appreciate your advocacy on this. I appreciate the information I've received from staff on this. I'm supportive of the project this evening in terms of the global component of it. After my colleagues say whatever they want to question and things like this, I am advising all of you, I'm prepared to make a motion to add the conditions of approval, the 4 conditions, specifically the hours of operation, the maximum size of the pharmacy, the exterior sign, as well as obviously working with the police department. I'm prepared to make the motion to amend for those, but I am not making the motion because I don't want to stifle any conversation. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Well, good evening. okay, here we are. And I totally agree that I think there were more questions than answers at the first meeting. So as a result, getting some information does make things a little clearer, because at the last meeting, the size of the letters did matter, because it said they would be a minimum of 1 inch. It didn't say, so you know, I'm imagining a large sign flashing, humor me. So let's not make too much ado about the size of the letter. 1 inch, I would even entertain having the condition that the letters are 1 inch in size on the notation on the wall. But about the delivery, the hours of operation for the clinic and the pharmacy are suggested to be same, 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. What about the delivery? Would they stay within those hours as well?
Well, the dispatches would be made within those hours.
But what if something arises? You see where I'm going with this? What if something arises? The reason I say that is what happens with that if items aren't able to be delivered? Because in part of the backup it said the majority of the time signatures will be required. Well, are they left if there is no signature? And then if no one is there to receive it, let's say it's a gated community and they can't get in the gate. I don't know, I'm just making this stuff up, but the scenario, but what happens? What if they have to take it back? They don't drive around with it. I'm just trying to say if the deliveries were within the same hours of the clinic and the pharmacy within that time frame, then you're ensured that you've got a closed loop of the dispensing, no matter whether it's in person or whether it's by vehicle, to be in a protected situation.
So just to throw it out there.
But I'm talking.
No, I'm asking a question because I think it's very relevant, and I want to hammer it in so I understand. If hypothetically, if there's a farm, like a dispatch at 4 o'clock and they have 10 deliveries to make, are they making deliveries after they close at 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
5, yeah.
That's all. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I mean,
Commissioner, I'm just trying to understand the question. So is the concern, just so I understand?
Well, it is
Okay,
because
I got it.
things happen. There is no perfect scenario. I'm sorry.
The dispatch will be made during hours. If there's a dispatch, as Commissioner Rydell just said, if there's a dispatch at 4:30 and the clinic closes at 5, and because of traffic, because there's a long line at the gate, the delivery is not made till 5:30 or 6, that's still going to be acceptable. Every other pharmacy in Coconut Creek will be delivering probably later than that, but all of the dispatches will be made during the hours. I can't tell you what traffic is going to be
Well,
like.
I'm not talking about traffic. I'm talking about if it's undeliverable. What happens with the package?
Okay. I'm going to ask you to identify yourself again.
Diana Grimberg.
Hello.
Hello again. We have 2 deliveries a day, and the one that goes out at 4, it's usually emergencies. It's usually like antibiotics or something that has to be delivered that day. If not, it's going to go out the next day. And the pharmacy dispatcher calls to make sure that somebody's going to be there to receive it. If not, they don't go out.
Okay,
the driver has the phone number to call.
I was just worried about what would happen with, because the hours are similar, and what happens with the driver in that situation. So you've answered that. I appreciate the follow-up and all of the information that was given and the oversight from the police department about some of the other concerns in that regard and getting a permanent. You must understand, Senator Geller, I've never approved pharmacy hours or pharmacy deliveries since I've been on commission. And to my knowledge, in the city, we don't have a current clinic that has an in-house pharmacy to dispense medications to their patients. I think that it is of value. I remember this was a model that was used years ago, in doctors' offices. They dispense their own medicine. So I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying it's a different model. And I had a lot of questions. I asked a lot of questions, and just trying to do my job. So I too am ready to approve it, but with the conditions, and I do want to add the
1-inch letters.
Yes, I do.
However, if I could ask, like on the 510 square feet, we said approximately, in case it's 510.6, and I would just ask that you say that the letters be approximately 1 inch, because I don't know if it's 32-point type or whatever, if that makes it 0.95 inches or 1.02 inches. So I would
you
just
need
ask
some more
that
coffee,
you say
Senator.
approximately 1-inch letters.
Okay. Is a square foot over 510? No, it's not. Is it? No, I'm asking Senator. He said he thought that it was. Okay. Anyway, I appreciate it, and I also was very interested in the special land use, how it rolled over from if the property owners changed, either in the building or in the pharmacy. And so I'm assuming that the same conditions would apply to whoever the owner would be of the doctor's group or the pharmacy. Is that?
Yes, the same conditions apply to whoever at any time owns this pharmacy.
Okay. All right.
As we lawyers say, they would run with the land.
Commissioner Raley.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Good seeing you again. Thank you.
Nice to see you, Commissioner.
Thank you for the information. That did clarify a lot of our questions from the last meeting. And I'm glad you had the opportunity to come back and to work with our staff. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have one question because I did go inside to the facility. And I also saw that when you enter, there is a reception area. And then to the right, as you're facing the reception area, to the right, there was a facility there that looked like that could be the pharmacy. Is that the existing area that's going to be? Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, when you ask a question, she needs to answer to the mic as opposed to from there.
Yes, when you walk into the clinic on the right, you see like 3 counters.
Yes.
That's the pharmacy area.
Okay. And that's the size it's going to be? You're not expanding?
No, we're not expanding
Okay.
at all.
All right, great. Thank you. That's all I've got.
Approximately 510 feet.
You want to do your motion to your condition of approval?
I do, but the only I guess caveat to that is Commissioner Welsh added something, and I want to be a little clear with what her caveat is. Her caveat was like a 5th condition of approval was like a 1-inch sign, but I guess the question I have, Senator, was
a sign with 1-inch letters.
Yeah, I'm with you, but
and
I guess the question the statement I'll make is this. Yes. I mean, I'm happy to do that if that's the will of the commission. I haven't heard from the rest of the commission on that. I guess the reality is this. Are you okay with a condition of approval for like no marquee sign?
Yes.
So I turn to Commissioner Welsh, and I only say it because, if this is a placard sign on a window, I take different issue with that than a marquee sign. And I think all of us last time were, and I know your applicant, Steve, was I'll say she didn't support a marquee sign, but like to me, I think the distinguishing characteristic here is this a marquee sign? You don't want that. I know Mr. Bass doesn't want it. I know your applicant doesn't want it.
That's condition of approval 3, which is exterior identification signage shall be limited to the west facade facing the parking lot, substantially in the location depicted, which I've showed you that.
Which was the part of the window.
Agreed.
Right.
But I guess my question is, because that wasn't one of Justin's approval conditions.
No, it is. That's
I know you
three.
say that, but in terms of the 1, 2, 3, 4 I got, so Madam City Attorney, if I'm prepared to make a motion to adopt the conditions of approval in terms of hours of operation, in terms of maximum size of the pharmacy, in terms of the exterior signage, do I have to be specific in terms of the adoption of the exterior signage and then obviously the police department conferral? So I guess I'm asking you in terms of sub 3, what the motion exactly needs to be to meet the conditions of Commissioner Welsh and the applicant. That's what I'm asking you, and I'm going to make the motion thereafter.
So if you are just reiterating what's listed in 1, 2, 3, 4, you don't have to specify that as an additional condition of approval. It's already specified here. You just vote on it.
Okay.
If what you are doing is modifying that in some way, for example, the way that Commissioner Welch mentioned approximately 1 inch instead of, for example, 2 or 3, or because I know that the state requirements are at least 1 inch, and you want to specify approximately 1 inch, so that way there's no question that what you really intend is that it be limited, then that would require a modification.
So,
we
Senator,
agree to
Senator, you're good.
Yes, sir.
So then, at this point, I'm going to make a motion.
Hold on, Commissioner.
Oh, I apologize. I thought
no,
you told me to make the motion.
Yeah, but then I wanted to say something.
Okay, give it back when you're ready.
Because
Thank you, Mayor.
I think the nickel and diming of this inch is I'm just confused. I'm a little blown away that we're talking about this like this. You showed the window. You showed the space of the window. I am full support of you using that little window to advertise and push the hours of this pharmacy. I think what we're doing here is something that we're always told not to do, designed from the dais in a way, but it's really like I just can't understand this nickel and diming of the inch. They've already limited to their window. They're not putting a sign on the road. They're not putting a massive thing. You have a business to run. Now I kind of feel like we're affecting your business in a way, or what could be of your business. So I'm not going to support a 1 inch. And if you have the 3, you have the 3. But I'm not going to sit up here and support a 1 inch dictation of letters on a window. I'm just not.
So can I turn to our staff and say, in terms of sub 3, what is the condition as you have the exterior signage language?
Our intent is...
Justin, just give me the language, because I think that may pacify everybody. I don't know, it may or may not, but I'm just curious the exact language you want, because I think the mayor's sentiments are I get it. So I just want to know what your sub 3 is.
Actually, I've asked staff to distribute. That may not be 1 inch letters, and I'd like something approval.
Steve, I'm not yelling about 1 inch. I'm just trying to see what Justin's a third is to see. That's just me. So
I'm going to read you the sign condition.
Please.
Okay.
Just reread it for the purpose of the record.
Yeah. Exterior identification signage for the pharmacy shall be limited to the west facade of the building facing the parking lot, substantially in the location depicted in the backup materials, that's the red box, submitted by the applicant. All signage shall comply with the city's applicable sign regulations. And can I just say, I think the point of our point in this condition is to limit the signage to that red box. So whether it's a minimum 1 inch or whatever it is, it won't go outside of that red box. So that's your limitation on that.
So thank you for the clarification. So, Mr. Mayor, here's my motion. My motion is to amend item, what item is it?
19.
We've been here for a minute. I move to amend item 19 to include conditions 1 in regarding stipulated hours of operation, to include item 2 in regarding the maximum size of the pharmacy, to include item 3 as read by Mr. Profit, the exterior sign requirement, and to add sub 4, the connectivity with the police department as read previously and stipulated to by the applicant. So I move to amend the item to include those 4 items, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Yeah. And Mr. Mayor, just to clarify, we've passed this out. This is substantially similar to what the sign will be.
You got my listen. I voted yes last time.
Yes, I know, Mr. Mayor.
I'm not the one you got to talk to.
As I look at this, I realize it can't be 1 inch letters because the hours, if they're 1 inch letters as required.
The red box, Steve.
Right, red box.
The red box.
I think you're all good. Let's get there.
By Commissioner Rydell,
let's go. Let's get there, Steve. It's the hour is getting long in the tooth.
And and Commissioner Wright, I appreciate let's acknowledging the red box. Do we have? So what do we have to do for the
Vote on the amendment.
What's our next step? We're going to vote on the amendment.
Yes, you vote on the amendment, and then you vote on the overall item.
All right, please call roll on the amendment.
Commissioner Rydell?
Yes.
Commissioner Welch?
Yes.
Commissioner Raley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody?
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman?
Yes. Now we will, but we have to have a motion and approve for number 19, right?
Correct.
We need a motion and a second.
I move the item as amended for approval.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Rydell as amended and seconded by Vice Mayor Brody. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Rydell?
Yes.
Commissioner Welch?
Yes.
Commissioner Raley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody?
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman?
Yes, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, and members of the commission.
Let's
And staff.
look at
Thank
those
you.
county approvals, Senator.
Okay, does anybody need a water break or anything? No? You're good? All right. Agenda item number 20. We will now hear agenda item 20. After I read the resolution title, I'll ask for a motion, a second, to move the item. Resolution 2026-119, a resolution approving the site plan application requested by Jacques Pedaviano of Bowman Consulting on behalf of Walmart Stores East, LP, for a 5,932 square foot addition to the existing Walmart store, generally located at 5571 West Hillsborough Boulevard, legally described in Exhibit A, attached hereto, and made a part hereof. All right? Is there a motion, a second?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Rydell. Seconded by Vice Mayor Brody. I don't know. Everybody's cool? We're calm, cool, collected? I'm beautiful, baby. Let's roll. All right, good. And first of all, I would say, why wasn't the school put up first? They have school tomorrow. We'll get to you soon. Is there, City Attorney, are there any disclosures?
Thank you for asking.
Thank
Does
you.
anyone have any disclosures for item number 20? Thank you.
City staff will now make a presentation.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, and staff. For the record, I'm Lisette Aguiar, the Assistant Director of the Resilient Design and Development Department. As you mentioned, this is agenda item number 20, a site plan application for an expansion of the existing Walmart store located at 5571 West Hillsborough Boulevard. The applicant, Jackie Pedevillano, from Bowman Consulting, on behalf of the Walmart stores, is seeking this site plan approval for an addition of 5,932 square feet at the northwest corner of the existing Walmart building. This addition supports Walmart's online pickup operations. I myself have never used this type of service, but it is definitely mainstream, and providing this service is something that more and more we see at many, many stores. This will allow, of course, the customers to place orders online and pick up their groceries or other items at a designated area without even having to enter into the store. The applicant is not just proposing this expansion, they're also proposing to spruce up the site. They're going to be increasing designated pickup spaces from 26 to 31. They're going to be improving the existing drive aisles, the existing landscape islands out there that could definitely use a refresh. Some minor grading improvements as well to improve our ADA parking spaces will also be part of this site plan improvement. There are new sidewalks, new striping, new crosswalk areas, updated pavement markings, and of course they're going to be refreshing all of the signage, not just on the building, but on the monument as well. The applicant did hold, of course, their community outreach meeting back on April 30th, 2026, at the city's rec complex, where they presented the project. No one from the public attended their meeting. Overall, staff finds that the site plan complies with, of course, our comprehensive plan, the city's land development code, and the minimum site plan review requirements of the land development code. As a reminder, the Planning and Zoning Board did recommend approval of this agenda item at its regularly scheduled meeting on July 8th, subject to any outstanding DRC comments. This concludes staff's presentation. Do you have anything to add, Justin?
Nope. Thank you very much, Liz.
Great. We're happy to take any questions from the commission. We have representatives here this evening to also make a presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. The applicant will now make its presentation.
Hello, my name is Jackie Padovano. As previously stated, I think staff did a great job on presenting, so I will not add further on the actual scope. However, I did hear that there were a couple questions, so I did want to clarify before we go into the questions themselves. So this store is open 7 days a week. The operating hours are 6 to 11, with the liquor store being 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., and then the actual pickup operations will be 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Additionally, with the expansion, we are revising some of the drive aisles, and so we have confirmed that the fire trucks are still accessible within the area, and no life safety impacts are proposed aside from adding a door for the expansion. The store operation itself is not proposed to be impacted, nor are the entrances for the store or the liquor box within the scope of area. Within this scope of work, we are proposing LED lighting in the expansion area itself. This has been reviewed and approved within the DRC review. In addition to, we are proposing surveillance within the area, and we are proposing also to convert 26 of the existing spaces to 31 pickup spaces.
Does the staff have any questions of the applicant or of the applicant's witnesses?
No, not at this time.
Does the applicant have any questions of staff?
No.
I will now open the public hearing. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak on agenda item 20? Once called upon, please come forward to the lectern and unmute the microphone. Identify yourself. State whether or not you have been sworn in and whether or not you understand the rules of the proceedings. When you're done speaking, please mute the microphone. Public hearing is now closed. Are there any closing remarks from either the city staff or the applicant?
Not at this time.
Okay. Members of the commission, any questions? Brody, too soon. Commissioner Raley? Oh, you sure? All right, I thought it was you. All right, Commissioner Welch?
No, I just, you talked about the lighting in the expanded pickup spaces there at the north end of the parking lot. I was just curious, you're adding additional lighting there in that spot, in that expanded area for pickup only?
Correct. 1 or 2 light poles are proposed, as well as some wall packs onto the expansion building itself.
Okay, because it is dark there in the evening, but you've already taken care of that. And the surveillance cameras will be on the drivers as well as those persons coming to pick up?
Correct.
Okay. Well, I look forward to it. It looks like one of your competitors that I won't name does a very robust business for that kind of service. I used one today for my first time, so it's very convenient, I have to say. And so you say you've taken care of the radius turning for the fire trucks?
Correct.
Okay.
That has been accounted for.
Okay. All right. Look forward to seeing what happens. Thank you.
Commissioner Raley.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Jackie.
Good evening.
Just one question, and I wasn't sure. I wasn't clear on this. Will you be able to order alcohol as well, pre-order alcohol? And if so, verification of age?
Within this pickup operation, I do not believe so. I believe it would be a separate operation. However, it's not a part of this scope.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Rydell.
So as the person whose district this sits in, totally supportive of it. Right now, you're running a project that I think is a little like shotgun approach. I think it's great. I love this proposal. I fully support this proposal. To answer Commissioner Raley's question about alcohol, they actually have dedicated spaces for the liquor store. So if you order through the liquor store, you could actually pull into a space and they do verify ID. Yeah. I think this is great. I think it's a forward-thinking opportunity. I think adding lights I don't think is necessary, but I love it, only because I know the area very well. So I think this is something that is going to really add to the area. I think the traffic pattern is terrible, but I didn't sit up here and approve it. That was somebody else, right? So I can qualm on that a little bit, but what? I thought you did. That was my, okay. All right. You give a dig, I give a dig. Commissioner Welsh? No, but I fully support it, and I think what you're trying to do there is really good. And Liz, if you haven't got like Walmart Plus, maybe you want to give it a try. That's all I got. I support the project.
Thank you.
All right. Sorry, I had a chuckle. Okay. Any other questions from the dais? Alrighty. Now for comments and deliberation by the commission. The Walmart store expansion site plan application, if none, is there based on the testimony presented in the application's consistency with the city's land development regulations and comprehensive plan. A motion and a second to approve agenda item number 20, the Walmart store expansion site plan application.
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Raley. Thank you for that. And seconded by the Vice Mayor. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Rydell?
Yes.
Commissioner Welch?
Yes.
Commissioner Raley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody?
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman?
Yes. Congratulations. Oh, there you are. Awesome.
Thank you all.
Thank you. We will now hear agenda item 21. After I read the resolution title, I'll ask for a motion and a second to move the item on a school night. On a school night. Resolution approving the site plan. No, but the head of school has got to be there tomorrow. Yeah. A resolution approving the site plan application requested by Christina Belenke of Meskel Backman LLP on behalf of North Broward Preparatory School for an approximately 56,500 square foot addition to the existing school campus for additional instructional and performance space for the property generally located at 7600 Lyons Road, legally described in Exhibit A, attached hereto and made part hereof. Is there a motion and a second?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Rydell, seconded by Commissioner Welch.
Are there any disclosures for this item?
Yes, we did meet with Christine and went through a presentation.
Likewise. And I was in the traffic headed southbound yesterday in the rainstorm. So got a clear picture of what the traffic is.
I don't think it's required, but my wife's a teacher at North Broward Prep.
Thank you.
And I sat through the presentation too.
Thank you.
And I sat through a presentation too.
Thank you.
The city will now make a presentation on item 21.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Justin Profit, Director, RDD. This is a site plan application for approximately 56,400 square feet of additional instructional and performance space located at 7600 Lyons Road. The applicant, Christina Belenke from Miskel Backman and LLP, and I believe Mr. Scott Backman is here tonight from the same law firm representing, is requesting site plan approval on behalf of the North Broward Preparatory School. This site plan is made up of 3 new buildings, and those new buildings are going to be essentially, let's call them centrally, southernly located in the site, but not too far south, and we'll show you that later. And that it is proposed to be built in phases. The first building, which is the 7,700 square foot building, building 1,000, is the first phase, and that will function as a STEAM instruction and lab space. And the applicant has a presentation on all a lot more of those details I won't go into. I'll just be briefly describing. The second building is Building 1100, which is proposed to be 26,500 square feet approximately, and that will function as a performing arts venue. And Building 1200 is proposed to be about 22,000 square feet, and it is designated for pre-K and kindergarten students. That it has some additional ancillary features to it, typical for a school, a kitchen, a dining area with a mix of regular classroom spaces. And it also includes an outdoor play space on the south side of that building. As you know, this is a very large campus, 70 acres approximately, and it has a zoning designation of community facilities, CF, and a future land use designation of residential estate 1. Just as a very important point, because the applicant is building this on undeveloped land of the property, and this property has a number of environmental protections and conservation lands. These buildings are proposed to be constructed outside of those conservation easements, and the plan does include enhanced setbacks and buffering. It includes additional permanent parking spaces, a new dedicated drop-off lane. As you know, capacity and storage of vehicles on this site is an important issue. And it, as I said, a new outdoor learning and play area. Like I just said, the traffic study review in this application was a crucial component. Staff and the applicant devoted a substantial amount of time reviewing that and reviewing all of the various options and even making numerous conditions of approval related to traffic enhancements and circulation on lines, not only on-site, but even off-site in the public right-of-way. Those are listed as the conditions, and the city's transportation manager, Michael Rigetti, led that effort. He is also here tonight for any questions and for assistance with questions related to our review. And I know their traffic engineer from Kimley Horn Associates is here tonight as well. The preserve along Northwest 74th will be cleaned up, and just like with all the other applications that we have in these large sites where there's undeveloped land and there's trees and a preserve, there's usually, almost most likely here as well, exotic and invasive species. And when construction occurs, you see that happening in Main Street, you see that happening in Gray Star. They will go in and, as required even by Broward County, they have to clean out those exotic invasives, and that allows the native species to grow. And with respect to Northwest 74th Avenue, there's a condition to even enhance the remaining landscape buffer between the roadway and the southern play area and buildings of the school to ensure that we just maintain that rural character of 74th Street and that neighborhood, and to maintain that buffer and to even beef it up a little bit after they clear it out and they install their chain link fence, and new trees will be planted in there. There's a condition related to that. The applicant did hold a community meeting that was back in February. It was at the school. It did have numerous members of the community attend as well, and that summary and the presentation materials for that meeting are in your backup. The Planning and Zoning Board had a public hearing on July 8th on the same application that was approved unanimously. Staff's findings are that the site plan complies with the city's land development code, the minimum site plan review requirements in the land development code, the aesthetic design review requirements, and the city's comprehensive plan. And that concludes staff's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. The applicant will now make their presentation.
Good evening. For the record, Christina Belenke of Miskell Backman. My address is 5550 Glades Road in Boca Raton. And it's a pleasure to be here before you this evening on behalf of North Broward Preparatory School. I think everybody is probably very familiar with the location of North Broward Preparatory School. It's on the north end of the city, on the east side of Lyons Road. It is roughly 70 acres. And it has been operating as a preparatory school, a private school, for several decades at this point. The area, oh, I just realized my presentation isn't on the screen. Are you seeing it? Oh, perfect. Thank you. So the area we're seeking to develop with this application is identified by the green box on the aerial. I think it was referenced as centrally and southernly located, which I think is very appropriate. It's on the south side of the access road that's looping internally to campus. It is flagged by 2 conservation easements. There's existing conservation easements that were put in place in 2000 and 2004. Those are identified by the blue dashed lines. Those conservation easements are not changing. There is one that is almost immediately adjacent to the development area. We have been coordinating with Broward County already related to the proposed development plans, construction activities, to ensure that this project is not going to negatively impact that conservation easement area. In addition, it's about 300 feet from the east property line, and the buildings will be located at least 100 feet from the south property line along 74th. So this is a version of kind of the master plan. We've been showing a master plan with various applications over the last probably 15 or so years, starting with when we came through with the rezoning and the plat, then the Global Wellness Center, and more recently the residential village, always kind of intending to ensure the city is aware of what's on the horizon for the school, and they're obviously continuing to invest in their students, in their school, and in their programming. And so this essentially shows the various locations of the buildings and their intended use. So the most northern building is intended for STEAM, science, tech, engineering, art, math. And this is really kind of an innovative use for the school programming. It's intended for aviation, it's intended for robotics, really innovative technical elements and programming that will be available to students. Towards the center is their performance space, an arts space. It's not just kind of intended for various performances. It does have classroom facilities, areas for set building, areas for music classes, dance studios, things along those lines. It also does include a performance area that can be used for various functions with about 300 seats. So whether it's a grade level performance, maybe a small dance performance, something along those lines, there's a facility that can accommodate that on campus with this proposal. And then on the south end, there's the Early Childhood Center, and that's intended for pre-K and kindergarten. So here is a more detailed view of that site plan. Again, building 1 is your STEAM building. That's about 8,000 square feet. Your performance building is building 2, about 26,000 square feet. And then on the southern end, there's the Early Childhood Center, which is about 25,000 square feet. In addition, you can see on the south end, along 74th, there is that 100-foot setback, and then there's a minimum 50-foot native species buffer. And this is what Mr. Prophet was alluding to previously. So we are committing to maintain 50 feet of that natural preserve area. And as we know, sometimes when exotics and invasives are removed, it can look more sparse than what was there previously. And so our team has prepared plans to replant that area with additional native species. So in line with kind of what you're seeing out there currently, that would survive in the kind of understory areas and with the trees that are there, and then plant in the sparse areas as well to really maintain that buffer and that character along 74th. So this is showing kind of an isometric graphic of the buildings. On the left-hand side of the screen, that's your STEAM building. The center is your performing arts space, and then towards the right is your Early Childhood Center. So you can see really we kept the scale low towards the ends to keep it in line with campus so that views are protected from 74th. And then the taller portions of the building where they're housing mainly set design areas, things that need more space, that's kind of flanked in the middle where it's screened internal to campus. And then our architectural team looked at various case studies at other schools that are successful in terms of really innovative kind of construction methods. Being a school that's in operation, it's important to create as little disruption to campus as possible with construction activities. The lower schools located, just across to the west a little bit. And so we want to try and avoid having large concrete trucks on campus and things of that nature that take more time and again cause more disruption to the classes and activities that are going on campus. So our team looked at innovative ways to do that, and metal buildings was kind of the option that they found to be successful in other schools. And here are some case studies as to how that's been implemented in award-winning ways. And so using this inspiration, our team came up with these graphics to play with various elements in terms of the roofing, in terms of textures, step backs, things along those lines that really create interest in the design. And here's another graphic of what that STEAM building would look like. Another graphic. And then in terms of the arts building, we thought it actually allows for a really innovative opportunity for some sort of mural that perhaps students would be able to participate in designing. And so this shows you kind of an option that could be incorporated into that building. And I think that's really exciting for the students that are focused on arts programming at the campus. This just shows some compatibility with the existing buildings on campus. And then in terms of traffic, Mr. Prophet touched upon this as well. We spent much time with Mr. Rigetti going over potential traffic improvements that can help the situation on Lyons Road. I understand Tuesday with the lightning storm and delayed dismissal, it was a little bit more of a impact than on other days. But we've identified a handful of improvements that the school is committed to making, subject obviously to approval and permitting by Broward County and in one instance Palm Beach County as well. But as you're going from the north, moving south into campus, this is the main access at 75th, so the more southern access into campus. There's an existing turn lane there. We've identified the ability to add about 200 feet of storage into that turn lane. So we can expand that and are including that as a condition of approval that the school is agreeable to doing. Similarly, on the northern entry into campus, there is an existing turn lane that stops well before the canal. So that turn lane is very limited right now. And we had our team discuss internally, our traffic engineers with their bridge consultants and structural engineers to ensure that the turn lane expansion would be feasible across a bridge such as this one. And they looked at it and determined that, yes, it is feasible to add 350 feet of storage in this location, which is very sizable. So that will help, again, get vehicles coming to campus from the north into those turn lanes and into campus and have less impacts to Lyons Road itself. On the southern portion of Lyons Road, going north into campus, towards campus, there are 3 different intersections that we've identified that can have kind of do not block signage proposed. And again, that's just to ensure that people living in those communities can safely get through the intersections, aren't constantly blocked by the traffic, and allow for that free movement a little bit better. And then again, the team at North Broward Preparatory School is always looking at kind of internal circulation, and we've been discussing this with Mr. Orgetti as well. And so this shows you the various loops for drop-off within campus itself. It's quite a bit of storage within campus. The Early Childhood Center would add an additional loop, and that's identified kind of by the orange dashed line as to where those students would be dropped off, separate from the lower school. And then we also have the drop-off and pickup times on the table at the top right-hand corner. And so the lower school typically starts a little bit earlier, gets out a little bit earlier, and then the middle and high school students are staggered a little bit later in the day. And that concludes my presentation. Our whole team is here to answer any questions you may have, whether it be traffic, architecture, school operations, landscaping. We're all available and appreciate your time this evening.
City staff, any questions of the applicant?
No.
Applicant, any questions of city staff?
No.
I'll now open the public hearing. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak on agenda item 21? Once called upon, please come forward to the lectern and unmute the microphone, identify yourself, state whether or not you've been sworn in and whether or not you understand the rules of the proceedings. When you are done speaking, please mute the microphone. We do have Ms. Bayla Gansberg, come on down.
Hi, I affirm with everyone. My name is Bayla Gansberg, 7530 Lyons Road. If you look at the first photo that they had put up, I don't know how to do that, but
I can move it back on the screen, but IT will actually move the slide. So, tag team effort.
the one that has the white. Here, right here. Okay. My home is located right outside the yellow line on the south entrance of the school. You all know I also have a school in Coconut Creek. I love the growth that I've seen since I've been here, 1993. However, this has made my life and my family's life pretty miserable. We have to get out every morning to go to our school, and sometimes it could take 10 minutes for each of our cars to get out. We have 5 cars leaving in the morning. I also I am part of a volunteer ambulance corp, and even with my lights and sirens, sometimes I cannot get out of my property. I have spoken to Dean and Scott Backman with, so far, no results and, no way of improving that. So as much, I've been in Coconut Creek and vicinity for a long time. I love it. I love the quiet. For the past, most probably month, I have been waking up to construction, going to sleep to construction. My whole backyard there's a big blue wall or something right in the back. We hear it all day and all night. So I think that something should be done, as I am a direct neighbor, for this construction.
Is there, that's not, the construction, what she's talking about is not a part of this. So I don't know, I don't know.
There is construction going on there now.
Where is the?
Directly in the back of my house.
Right, you're right off Lyons Road.
I'm on Lyons Road. Yeah.
You're just south of the yellow line, of the first yellow line by the baseball field.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Justin, do you know of construction happening there?
Yes, I don't know if you're looking at an aerial photograph, but if you move over to the east a little bit, there are old single-family homes that were bought by the school years ago, and this area is used for parking. What I assume is the resident is talking about is the demolition of those structures, and that is directly east and behind this property.
And with those, is that does that work have a time constraint? Like it can only start at 6 and end at, like, does it have that for them?
Demolition construction activity has to comply with our code. I believe it's 7 a.m. to 6 p.m.
So 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. is when.
Yes.
Okay. So if it's happening before 7 a.m. or after 6 p.m., you need to let us know. All right, Bayla? I mean, if that's what I would say to that. I don't know, because the construction for this doesn't affect, it's not really by your home. But if there's current things happening, then and it's before 7 or after 6, then we need to do something about it.
Yes, if there's, and we'll confirm the time exactly. I do know it's 7 a.m. in the morning, nothing earlier than that. But if there are construction activities operating outside those hours, code enforcement, you can call code enforcement and we will send someone out.
Okay, and what could be done that I could get out of my property?
Well, we're not going to address that right now. We're going to move on with the hearing, but we've taken notes. We can certainly, City Manager, can you respond?
Sure. I think what I'm hearing is that your other significant concern is accessing Lyons Road from your property because of the traffic backup.
Correct.
And I believe Ms. Belinkie would like to address that, or their traffic engineer.
I'm happy to if now's the appropriate time. So we did speak with Ms. Gansberg on a couple different occasions. We've regrouped with our team, with our traffic engineer to figure out what options may be available. We're looking into the potential to put some do not block signage by her property. She has some smaller signs already existing out there, but something more substantial that the county could approve. It would be subject to Broward County approval, but we're happy to have that discussion with them and look into that option.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else like to speak on this item? Okay, public hearing is now closed. We will now hear closing remarks. Do city staff or applicant have any closing remarks?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
I'll just clarify the exact hours. We just looked it up in the code. So you cannot be having construction outside of the hours of any time before 7 a.m. or after 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturday, and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday. And there's some other things in there. But like I said, if there's things happening outside of those hours, we have a code enforcement, and we would be glad to send someone out.
Thank you.
And investigate.
And Ms. Gansberg, you do have code enforcement's number? Okay. Thank you. Okay. Do any members of the commission have any questions? Questions. I'm sure we all do. We'll start with the commissioner at the end from the north.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Christina, bring up the don't block the box slide, please. So a couple different things. Obviously, I was at the community meeting. I think I was the only one at the community meeting. I'm not saying it like that, but I was at the community meeting. It's important. I met with Tall Trees' HOA. I've met with some of the other neighbors on 39th Street about this and their concerns. I will say this. Their concerns are relevant for traffic, not relevant for project. So I think it's an important distinction. The project that the school wants to do is an upgrade to the school that in terms of trips doesn't tremendously impact the project. I will say at the community meeting when some things came up with traffic, the school was actually extraordinarily receptive. Tall Trees had some issues, and I think it speaks volumes that some of the HOA members that have been very vocal are not here. they had, and I'll just voice to all of you, they had concerns because people were getting picked up and dropped off in the Tall Trees community. They actually, the school proactively, even before this project, I think hired an additional officer that was actually going there and not allowing kind of some of the Uber pickups and drop-offs. And they also changed the exterior of Tall Trees. So for example, what the problem Tall Trees had a complaint with, just so you know, because I don't think it's relevant, is people were pulling into Tall Trees and then going across to do North Broward. So our police officers, per the detail that the school did, is that they made it left or right. You can't do that anymore. And our police officers that we just approved at our last meeting, that detail where the school foots the full bill for now 3 detail officers at a pretty significant rate to not do that. So I think that's a significant thing. In regarding this, I was able to advocate, and I only say it again, it's my district. We were able to advocate at 71st. There's a don't block the box that exists right now on the, if we are looking at the rightmost slide, that exists. We advocated for it. This is something about 18 months ago, 2 years ago, we advocated for Sheila. You helped me with that. And we actually started the process on 74th in regarding don't block the box as well because of Crescent Creek and some of the other issues. So regardless of whatever it is, I just want to let you know that I've been advocating to Mayor Bogan in regarding the 74th don't block the box. I don't know anything about the 75th thing, but if that's something you want me to advocate for, I'm happy to advocate for it. In regarding Ms. Gansberg's comments, I think her house is actually zoned as like a community facility for the county. I don't know, because you have certain county zonings. I don't want to speak to that or debate that, but I know, you know, as a house of worship or community facilities, whatever it is, I fully support whatever she needs to, you know, to move people along. But again, what I noticed with Tall Trees in terms of addressing their issues, it was more traffic related that had nothing to do with like the upgraded project at North Broward Prep. So that's my comments to that. I've met with the community, some of the stresses from the North Broward community, and I'm not talking about the school, I'm talking about the community, was Tall Trees' position in terms of not having people picked up and dropped off, not having their thing utilized, and I think before this meeting, the school did that at that meeting, and they also sent representatives. I will say to one of the other neighbors, and I give Mr. Backman, where is he? He's over here. Oh, he's over here. There was a neighbor that, I mean, I think, were any of you CC'd on the emails about some of the issues with, like, there was, like, construction issues in terms of, like, power lossage? I don't know if any of you were. I know Sheila was. So there was, like, some issues in terms of some of the construction that I've been very on. I think Sheila has. I don't know if she shared it with you, and I'm not saying it good, bad, or indifferent, but I give the school credit because I think the school, you know, did everything they could do fiscally to help one of the neighbors. So, Christina, could you pull up the slide, the aerial that Ms. Gansberg was referencing? So one of the houses that was most affected, and then, which is like a budding, you see that like corner? Christina, yeah, I don't know, go up, no, not there. Up. Yeah, like right there. One of those houses, the school did all they can do, and I will say the construction is actually completed. So the construction was there, and now that plat is done. I did a site visit with Mr. Beckman's team, and it was all done. So listen, I think the school is doing all they candidly can do for the purposes of making accommodations for the neighbors. I support the project in general. I think the school brings an aspect to Coconut Creek that is, you know, brings people in. So that's what I'll say, and I appreciate their willingness to continue to work. I will want to talk about the berm real quick, because I spoke to some of the neighbors in regarding, you know, and again, some of the neighbors I spoke to, it's unincorporated Broward County. So these are people that are technically not residents of Coconut Creek. However, they are within the constitutional boundaries of Coconut Creek. I will say, and Justin, I don't know the answer to this, in regarding the prospective berm, I know that it's like we have this weird thing with like invasive trees versus not invasive trees. Like, and I know whatever that is, I think I would like a robust berm. What I don't want is us demoing something, making them plant brand new things where there's robust tree and vegetation life there, understanding our code. I think that's like kind of a waste, and I think it's detrimental to the neighborhood. I don't know what I need to do to kind of get around that, and I'm not trying to like suggest getting around it, but what I'm suggesting is like you have very robust vegetation there. Maybe it's invasive, maybe it's not. I don't know the answer to that, but like I would hate tearing down a very robust berm and then saying, hey, plant a bunch of new things, and we don't have the barrier that is necessarily needed. So that's my suggestions. Those are my comments. in regarding that, and I'm very cognizant that the school, like all schools, I mean, listen, Lions Creek has created a nightmare issue on Lions. I mean, the school, it's traffic. Totally cognizant of that, and I think the neighbors have a right to have an issue. And I think as long as there's a response to that issue and understanding that issue, we could find a solution to the issue. And I give the school credit because they're adding an officer that is handling it. So that's my position. I'm open to any discussion or comments. Thank you. Commissioner Welch.
Yes, thank you very much. Can you go back to this? I got all of my questions answered at the presentation, both before with staff and then when you and all of the team came. And I have to point out some of the things that I thought really went above and beyond, plus what I was able to experience. But I was asking particularly about the neighbors and those that were abutting where the construction would be taking place. And can you highlight the one mitigation that was done for the one neighbor?
Yes, I think you're referring to the same neighbor that Commissioner Rydell was referencing with the FPL issue, and I think we have in the back. So the particular neighbor that's being referenced is just on the south side of the yellow line here. Mm-hmm. This home right here. So when the two homes were demolished, the plan was approved for a temporary parking lot in that facility. With respect to all of these projects, obviously with the school, parking is incredibly important. We don't want to lose spaces, so it's a little bit of kind of chess moves to find parking on campus. So when those two homes were demolished, we were able to put temporary parking lots in this area. The neighbor to the south, Mr. and Mrs. Atkinson, they had reached out to us. Actually, they were at the community meeting as well and inquired as to what was going to be happening behind their property. We had multiple meetings with them over the last several months in terms of their concerns over the water quality of the canal, over drainage running off into there. We regraded the area. We added additional landscaping. And then more recently, we were proposing, I think at the time, just kind of a chain link fence consistent with some of the other fencing around campus. And through those conversations, we actually upgraded it to a shadow box wood fence, which is certainly more appealing to them as well. They were very happy about those changes. This shows some of those landscaping, the additional landscaping in that area as well. But we worked very closely with them. I thought perhaps I had a picture of the shadow box fence, but I do not see that.
That's okay. I think it was just poignant that, taking into consideration the neighbors for the project for the temporary lot as well as what's being proposed. And when I ask about the enrollment current and then what it would cap at, it was 2,400, taking into account the new construction. And the traffic for the Lions. And I really, really like the idea of extending the turn lane because I didn't really appreciate it until I was in it. And I was coming from Boca, headed south on Lions. And at 18th, once the light changed, I was in the left lane. And then I was in the left lane. And then I was in the left lane. And until I realized what was happening. But I can truly appreciate how the stacking would definitely help alleviate that situation. And then coming from the south headed north, the traffic was almost to Hillsborough. And this was about 2:30 in the afternoon. So I did see it, and I can justify the do not block the intersections because I was trying to get into Hillsborough Plaza at their north entrance behind Cali Coffee. And most of the drivers are very courteous and let you in or out, but I'm hoping that those true delineations ensure that people are reminded to give other space. And the additional entrance into the north entry and the staggering of the times that you are suggesting for each one of the different levels, I think will help significantly. I mean, it's definitely an improvement over what is already there, and what's there looks stellar, of course. So I'm sure that this won't. I was just surprised at the metal architect, but you explained why that it was going to that type of construction rather than the typical construction that is around most of the campus now. And one other thing, but I don't remember what it is. Can you talk about the one condition of approval again, Justin?
Which one?
Can you just reiterate them?
Oh, well, there's numerous conditions of approval, so I'll kind of give you the theme of some of them, right? Okay. So the first one is a limitation on the number of students.
Yes.
A maximum. The second one deals with an annual evaluation of the operational circulation, the traffic situation, yes. Right? Very important one. That came out of all of the conclusions and recommendations from the traffic study and Michael Righetti's review. The third one deals with the do not block the review agencies and their approvals of the extensions of those turn lanes, as you just mentioned.
Yes.
The fourth one is another one related to traffic improvements and enhancements in the right-of-way. The fifth one deals with the 15-foot right-of-way dedication along 74th Avenue, mm-hmm. And the other ones are just related to landscaping and the DRC review conditions that remain, and the wood fence that you were discussing
that
earlier.
We were talking about. So anyway, I don't have any more questions. I think you've gone to a great deal of effort and energy to make the improvements on the campus with the least impact. I know that you said the construction phases would be during the time when school was not in session, so it has the least impact to the academic efforts that take place there as well. Is that right?
So some construction activities will need to occur during the year, but the good thing about the metal buildings is a lot of it is constructed off campus and brought on. So it expedites the construction process.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
Hello again. How are you?
Hello.
I do have a couple of questions.
Sure.
The staggered hours, are they being initiated now?
So currently there are staggered drop-off and pickup times. It's something that the school is constantly evaluating.
Okay.
So they may continue to change for next year and into the future. The school is, yes, certainly wanting to ensure the operations are efficient.
So we're utilizing them now. So the traffic is a reflection of staggered hours now. That's what I'm trying to do.
Correct. Like the high school starts at a different time than the lower school.
Okay.
For example.
And also, well, I think it's great that you're advancing, progressing. However, I would, and I mentioned it briefly, I think, during our first discussion. I would love to have seen a more permanent looking building. It just, I get the vibe, looking at the pictures of the drawings, the renderings, that it's almost temporary.
And perhaps I can go back to kind of those case studies we were looking at. Obviously, when we have renderings, it does kind of look a little bit more like that. Yeah. But here are some photographs of actual examples of where these types of buildings were used. And I think in these pictures, they kind of do not look as temporary as some of those renderings.
So there will be siding on it. It won't just be
some of it is
flat facade.
Some of it is metal. It's got different applications, and different elements to it. There's one area where I indicated, the intent would be to have students participate in creation of a mural that can go there. That would be, for their art space.
Right.
So there's variations in textures, in kind of the undulation of the building, in the gable, roof, that kind of thing to add the character.
And more glass, usage of glass.
Yes, usage of glass as well.
And more lighting inside. Okay, great. And for the entertainment part of it, the arts building, will there be sound barriers, panels within the wall, in the interior, to kind of mute the sound from expanding?
Yes, we have an acoustical consultant that's been reviewing it for sound. You want to ensure the acoustics inside are captured the right way as well for those performances. So we have looked at that to ensure, it's properly rated.
Okay, so that it doesn't escape the walls either, right? Okay, and your time frame, what are we looking at?
For construction?
Yeah.
So building 1, we're looking to get permits within the next couple weeks and get started on that. The intent would be to get that constructed and open for the next school year. Okay. And then building 2, I believe, or 2 and 3, we would be permitting maybe about 10 months or so from now, and that construction would follow basically immediately thereafter.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you. Great presentation, and I think this is a great project for the school. I kind of like the idea that you threw out there about going to the county and saying maybe see if they'll allow some signs that are more, I guess, legal looking for not blocking, Bela's driveway and things like that. But I'm going to honestly say it's the county's road. So if they say no, there's nothing really we can do. But I think it's a good idea to at least attempt to see if they can help out, alleviate so you can get in and out. But once again, it's going to be the county that's going to be able to make that decision. It's not our road. But I do like that idea, and I think it's at least something to offer up to the county to see if they'll buy off on it, just to ease, your in and out of your own home. So I think I'm in agreement with that. If we can make that part of the, I guess it can't really be non-binding because the county's going to have to make a decision on it. So I think that we want to make that part of it, but understanding that, if it comes back and says it's a no-go at the station, it is a no-go. But at least let's make an attempt.
We're happy to do that.
I just have, I think it's great. I know, but this is not going to be, you're not going to have the early childhood for a couple years? In 2 years?
2 years. August of 28.
So August of 2028. So I'm like debating if I want to bring this up right now. I just, if you can go to the picture with the drive-in loops. Thank you. So we don't have a time for that yet. So we don't have a time for the ECC yet.
In terms of drop-off and pickup times?
Correct.
Not yet. I would guess it would be pretty similar to the lower school.
How many students would we be expecting in the ECC? About 120. So we'll say 120 cars. Maybe they have siblings who go there as well. My concern here, and what I was talking to you guys in our meeting, is the use of that where the buses are queued as an exit for the ECC carpool. I don't know if this is the time to talk about this because you did say it's August 2028, but I do feel that this whole mishmash, when you get to this mishmash where the purple meets the yellow meets the red meets the orange, and the orange is now going to circle back through the car loop to get back into the mishmash, it's a lot of stress on the staff who's working the parking lot and doing the whole thing. I know, Bruce, we spoke about it in the meeting. So, my thought process is letting that carpool, and this could alleviate some of that pressure onto Lions, is that orange carpool line then exits out that blue line onto 74th, right? And then discussing how that would be, that's just my take. It just feels that you're in this point here where you're now building new buildings, and we're kind of at like a kind of a reset, a refresh, to now kind of analyze the traffic patterns of the school, the carpool, and kind of see what can be done. And my take is, I don't think this is determinant on anything, but I would like to see that orange turn into that blue, and they exit onto 74th, they make a left, then they go to Hillsborough. That's my take. I mean, turning right, you'll get back on Lyons, might be okay, but leaving this whole thing, I mean, and Commissioner Rydell, he drives through it on a daily basis. So I don't have experience with the car line. I used to have experience at the camp line when I worked there. But I don't know, it's not make or break for me, but I'm just trying to come up with a solution of a problem that you're going to have. And I think we talked about it. You kind of agreed with me when we spoke. But Commissioner Rydell, do you have any insight on that? I see you were trying to, were you not speaking? Okay.
And what I can say to that is there's currently a declaration of restrictive covenants in place that restricts any kind of vehicular access to and from the school except for emergency vehicles. That was a condition of approval as part of our rezoning application that was
how long ago?
About 11 years ago.
Okay. I
think it was 2013, 2014. So maybe a little bit longer than that, 12 years ago, 13 years ago. But there is that legal document that prevents the school from using access there.
Okay, and I don't know if there's a pulse for it, but if there was a pulse for it, that document would need to be rescinded, or what would be the process for that? Just for education.
Well, that document was approved as part of their rezoning in 2015. I imagine it's a recorded document. It would be subject to the city commission's purview for rescinding any particular provisions of it.
Okay. It is a couple years down the road, so I don't know, and these traffic patterns aren't locked in place. So
correct. And we are meeting on an annual basis with the city to evaluate traffic.
Okay.
So we will.
So I'll put it on the back burner, and we'll bring it up as we get closer. I'd like to bring it up maybe for a discussion with the commission. But right now I will. All right. Any other comments? All right.
Final comment. I would just ask Mr. Christina or Mr. Backman. I know when there's been concerns in the past, you had directed a majority of those concerns to, I think, your head operations, or I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but I think Tall Trees has had a good relationship with that individual when there's been problems, and I think just, as a point of contact, reference point to some of the surrounding neighborhoods if there's an issue, just to make sure that contact is out there. I think the school's been very good in terms of their director of operations dealing with that, so I appreciate that, and we'll make sure all those affected neighborhoods have that information as well. So thank you for that, and I would ask to continue with that through the construction process.
Of course. And just for the record, it's Stu Copels, and we're happy to provide his contact information for anybody that needs it.
Now for comments and deliberation by the Commission on Agenda Item 21, the North Broward Preparatory School Expansion Site Plan Application. If none, is there, based on the testimony presented in the application's consistency with the city's land development regulations and comprehensive plan, a motion and a second to approve Agenda Item 21, the North Broward Preparatory Expansion Site Plan Application?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Welch, seconded by Commissioner Raley. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Rydell.
Yes.
Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
Commissioner Raley.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody.
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time this evening. Appreciate it.
You too. Ordinance 2026-029. Is there a motion and a second to approve Agenda Item 22?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Welch, seconded by Vice Mayor Brody. The Resilient Design Development Department staff will make the report.
I have to read the title, sorry.
Oh, read it, yeah.
Ordinance 2026-29, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek, Florida, amending the city's Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 1, General Provisions, Section 1-8, General Penalty for Violation of Code, Continuing Violation, and other remedies and administrative fees to correct section references and clarify applicability of fines, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
Hi there, really quick. This is the cleanup ordinance, and one of the important things we need to make sure we do in our ordinances when they cross-reference each other, especially ordinances that involve enforcement and relate to fines, and this relates to refuse and solid waste. So that's actually one of our top 10 fines, right? So we have to make sure that those cross-references are accurate. And one of the things we found was this reference was not consistent between the two ordinances. So the purpose of this ordinance tonight is to make sure that those are consistent and we can properly enforce those fines, especially when we go to the special magistrate. Thank you.
Any questions, comments from the commission? City Clerk, any members of the public?
Not at this time, Mayor.
No further questions, no public. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Rydell.
Yes.
Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
Commissioner Raley.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody.
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman.
Yes. Ordinance 2026-031, City Attorney.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek, Florida, amending the city's Code of Ordinances to repeal and replace the names of Community Development, Development Services, and Department of Sustainable Development with resilient design and development throughout the code in order to provide for housekeeping cleanup of the city's Code of Ordinances, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date.
Motion and second.
Move it. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Raley, seconded by Commissioner Welch. RDDD staff.
Yes, thank you. And you used our new nickname.
Yep.
The Sustainable Development Department is now called the Resilient Design and Development Department. We have changed our name. So when you do that, there are many references to the old name in there, and actually the old name to department names before. So this really this is truly cleanup all throughout the Code of Ordinances. This will direct the company that maintains our ordinances to go through the entire document and clean it up and correct the name.
Any questions or comments from the City Commission? Anyone from the public who'd like to speak? Anybody over here? All right. Okay, well, you lost your chance. Are there any further? All right, please call the roll.
Commissioner Rydell.
Yes.
Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
Commissioner Raley.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody.
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman.
Yes. Ordinance 2026-035. City Attorney, please read the title.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek, Florida, authorizing the mayor or designee to execute the Second Amendment to the lease agreement by and between the City of Coconut Creek and T-Mobile South, LLC, which provides for the modification of equipment on the city's telecommunications tower at the community center, providing for recordation, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. This item is before you at this time for first reading.
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Welch, seconded by Commissioner Raley. Public Works, what's up?
Hi, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. T-Mobile desires to amend the agreement a second time just to modify their equipment. The proposed equipment replacement will not increase tower loading or ground space. Accordingly, the proposed modification will not result in a change to the rent payable under this agreement. And Elizabeth from Seascape is also here if there's any questions.
Are there any questions or comments from the City Commission?
It's not a question, it's a comment. We were giving allowance for the school, putting them so late on the agenda. Look at our staff, here till the very end for 3 items on this agenda. I'm just saying.
They don't have school, they don't have work tomorrow. Vice Mayor.
Listen, I don't have any comments on this other than Elizabeth. I am so sorry that you missed the wireless happy hour at JB's on the beach. I'm sorry you had to sit through this whole thing and missed the one event of the year. All right, that's all I got to say. I'm sorry.
All right. I don't know what he's talking about. It's like some telecommunications happy hour. Any further questions or comments from the commission? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Rydell.
Yes.
Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
Commissioner Raley.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody.
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman.
Yes. Ordinance 2026-036. Please read it, City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor Wasserman. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek, Florida, authorizing the mayor or designee to execute the Second Amendment to the lease agreement by and between the City of Coconut Creek and Cellco Partnership DBA Verizon Wireless to clarify and modify the utility easement to the city's telecommunications tower at Sable Pines Park, providing for recordation, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. This item is before you at this time for first reading.
Move it.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Raley. Sir?
Good evening. As stated in the title, this amendment only clarifies the utility easement. There's no changes to equipment or ground space on the tower, and therefore no change to the rent as well.
Any comments from the City Commission? From the telecommunication master? All right. Any members of the public?
Yes. Oh, I thought we were voting.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Rydell.
Yes.
Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
Commissioner Raley.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody.
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman.
Yes. Everybody getting a little delusional at the late hour of the night. The witching hour. Ordinance 2026-037. Please read the title, City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor Wasserman. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek, Florida, authorizing the mayor or designee to execute a lease agreement by and between the City of Coconut Creek and Cellco Partnership DBA Verizon Wireless to lease ground space and tower space on the city's telecommunications tower at the Government Center, providing for recordation, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. This item is before you for first reading.
Who's got it?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Welch, seconded by Commissioner Raley. PWD staff, what you got?
Verizon Wireless has held a lease with the city since 2004, and their lease is ending, so we're renewing a lease with Verizon. Their compound is not expanding, and they will change around some of their equipment on the tower under this lease, and there is an increase in rent.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission? From the public? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Rydell.
Yes.
Commissioner Welch.
Yes.
Commissioner Raley.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody.
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman.
Yes. Ordinance 202, last ordinance. Here we go. City 2026-038, City Attorney.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coconut Creek amending the city's Code of Ordinances by amending Chapter 12, Garbage and Refuse, Article 2, Collection and Disposal, Sections 12-21, Definitions, and 12-23, Franchise Agreement, required to provide collection service, franchise fee, and amending Article 3, Recyclable Waste by creating a new Division 1 residentially zoned areas, enacting Section 12-50, Definitions, and creating a new Division 2 non-residentially zoned areas, enacting Sections 12-60, Definitions, 12-62, Use of exclusive franchise fee for construction or demolition debris required in non-residential zoned areas of the city, exceptions, 12-63, Contamination prohibited, 12-64, Duties of non-exclusive commercial recycling franchise holders, and 12-65, Revocation of non-exclusive franchise or registration, to provide for updates to reflect the city's policy decision to return to curbside recycling, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing an effective date. This item is before you at this time for first reading.
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Welch, seconded by Commissioner Rydell. Sir?
when recycling was discontinued in the city. Subsequently, the ordinances related to that were struck from the ordinance. This essentially places them back into the ordinance. I would point out that we did also add an additional fine for developers that do not use the exclusive franchisee in the city, as that does take away from franchise fees that the city does receive.
Anything from the commission? From the public? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Rydell?
Yes.
Commissioner Welch?
Yes.
Commissioner Raley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brody?
Yes.
Mayor Wasserman?
Yes.
No report.
No report, thank you.
To Commissioner Rydell? Do you have a report to make?
The hour is late. The tooth is long. The only report I'll give is this. The exciting news from earlier this month is the Solid Waste Authority actually was created. It was approved. All the cities approved it before the deadline. Miramar is approving it thereafter. It's going to be, the RFPs are going to go out, so it's like super exciting. Mike Heimbeck is here. He wore a tie. Give him a big shout out. And seriously, Mike, I mean it, because you were here. So my report is going to be limited to the fact that something that a lot of people spent a lot of time on is moving forward. Sam May has been extended for the RFP period to be the executive, we'll call him the executive director, even though SCS is still integrally involved. So it's exciting. And that's the only report I'll give because it's late, way late. So I'll see everybody on Saturday at the Republic barbecue, and it's so exciting that Republic gave us trucks, little toy trucks. And I want to give a big shout out to the deputy fire chief that chose to sit here for the entire meeting in Manny's absence.
He drew the short straw this time, I'm telling you. But just a big shout out to Mike for his endurance and everyone else that was involved with the SWA. And a great job today at Chamber. It was the best one ever. He and Bernadette.
Thank you. Just want to say that I know Florida League of Cities, well, no, I'm sorry, Broward League of Cities is putting out a brochure regarding Amendment 3, and I think it would be great for us to utilize it as well. So, and that's about it for now. Good night, everybody.
I'll try to be brief. So I took my grandson to the splash pad at the North Rec Center. My family was amazed. Beautiful park, beautiful splash pad. Amazing. We don't have little kids, so the first time we'd really been over there in a long time. So it was really nice. Everybody enjoyed it. So shout out to the park and rec. Bro, that's assault, lawyer. Splash pad was great. I won't be at the barbecue on Saturday. I will be on the honor flight, taking my veteran to D.C. So it's pretty awesome. The scary note on that is I actually qualify now to be the guy in the chair as of January. So not looking forward to that realization. Number 3, real quick. Got my test results back to those that don't know. There's no cancer in my bone. There's no cancer in my bone marrow. And none of my lymph nodes had a cancerous cluster, which meant they couldn't find it. So outside of it being in my blood cell, pretty much got to wait it out to see what happens in the next 10 to 15 years. So that's great news. So, yes, thank you. I can finally sleep at night and not be so grouchy, except for that last thing that happened. But thank you very much. I'll see you guys later.
Yes, you should be grouchy about that. I would.
Please, Chief.
Just 2 things, very brief. Just want to say how proud I am to be part of the city. Our staff is so thorough. You're so incredible. And, the vitriol and the things I see on social media when they talk about the city as a whole, they don't understand the people who help run this city, the people who really pour their heart and soul into their job and the real care that you take with the steps you take in the job you do. And I will always fight for you on that social media platform, because there are people who don't understand. There's a lot of misinformation, and the vitriol that is out there is not okay. So I want to let the staff know, our police know, our fire know. I'm proud to represent you. I'm proud to be here with you, with this commission as well, because there is just some stuff that is just unacceptable. And until people listen to our meetings, until people get to know what we really do, you know, we have to try to right the ship. So I try to do that. I do want to mention one thing also about social media. There was a post the other day from Dolly Parton. It was bizarre indeed. And one thing that happens is when the city posts stuff, they don't reach out to the city staff. They reach out to us as the people who represent this city. And I felt the post to be totally unacceptable. And I would like, and I know we talked about this briefly, but whoever is controlling the social media account, whoever is controlling the Facebook, I do think it needs an extra layer of check before something is posted, whether it be from you or a designee like Scott or somebody, because I found it to be like, that's not our job to post something like that. So that's all I'll say. I'll leave it.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.